And we're live. I'm here with my good friends, Paul Italia and Dave Shell, who are also good friends. And we're here to just chat a little bit about some things that have been happening lately.
What's up, fellas? How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, I apparently missed a very good practice in Philadelphia tonight. I didn't go down there because I knew we were going on tonight. But
they had like 20, 30 people there. Pretty cool.
Oh, Shubich asked us not to go live because he was planning on sleeping tonight. Well, Shubich, we will not be on that long. It's not going to be a lengthy one like it sometimes is. Although I was going to send Shubich a note later saying, okay, confirm that we are having practice in Outlaws this Saturday, even if you're not going to be there, because I want to show up.
Hello, everyone.
Whose practice was in Philadelphia tonight?
That's Josh Vinacor's practice, and I don't know who all. Sue Fisher called Ryan and said they had a real crowd, some new people, and who all was there, I really don't know tonight.
And anytime new people hit me up in the Philly area, I refer to them to that practice or Sean Latimer's. So those two practices just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yo, I gotta say a really cool story. I was just at the gym right before I got over here, and I'm over at the town gym, and I'm doing my beast mode, and all of a sudden these like three younger dudes, they're probably like 19, 20, come up to me and they're like, "Yo, aren't you Paul Italia, the arm wrestler?" And I look at them like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Yo, we're amateur arm wrestlers, bro. We watch your shit all the time." I'm like, "Get the hell out of here! This was fucking." Pretty cool, man. So I gave them my info, and I said next time when I start throwing practices, I was gonna invite them over and all. But I'm just like, I couldn't believe that. I did not expect that at all, man. So
that's awesome.
Pretty cool. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And then I was on a junk removal channel earlier, and the dude's pretty big in the junk removal world. And all of a sudden, one dude comes in, and his name was Armwrestling Center, and he sees me, and he goes, "What the fuck is Paul Italia on Jedi Junk right now?" And I'm like, "Wait, what's up, bro?" I was like, "Where are you from?" So it was Mendy's gym. I don't know if it was Scott Mendelson or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, bro. So it was like Jedi Junk is a company down in LA area. So I guess they either worked with him or whatever, but he was in shock to see me on there. So I'm like, "Yo, arm wrestling's starting to get out there, man. It's fucking yeah." So that was pretty cool today.
Jedi Junk. That's interesting.
Yeah, he actually he built his business, man. He's a tech geek. He built it up in 3 years, and then he just sold it for $500,000. And he just made this new software that's going to be $1 billion company. I actually just invested in it, and it's called Autopilot. Dude is real tech savvy. When he was like 18 years old, he made a bunch of apps, I think for like Facebook and MySpace, and he sold it for like millions and millions of dollars. But he was like young and crazy, and he just went crazy, and he didn't pay no taxes. And the IRS caught up with him years later. And guy's a tech genius though. But that was pretty cool to link up with this guy. I'm actually gonna be hanging out with him this weekend. They got a big expo going on.
Nice. So do we want to jump right into some stuff, or what do we want to do here?
Yeah, man. First, I want to say, out in public and all, me and Dave, everybody knows we got in a little scuffle, like friends normally do and all. And, I conducted myself in the way I really didn't want to do at Dave in a public setting, but it was just due to, I've been real stressed out, a lot of things on my plate. And, with that guy, Steve Gullip, and, I just kind of was kind of mad at Dave that he was even talking to him after, that he was making all these threats to me. And I think he was doing it to Nanya and telling he's going to burn our houses down with our families in it. And, it's one thing to have a beef with me, but when you're making threats towards my family and all, I take it a whole nother level. And, then when he got arrested and, he's going through the law system and everything, I just was kind of little mad at Dave. And I don't think Dave really understood, I had to go upgrade all my security systems. I dropped a few $1,000s just to get cameras everywhere. Because when somebody like that, with a record like that dude has, I take that shit for real. You never know if something's going to happen, and my girl, she's been on edge over it. And, I told Ryan the other night, somebody was on the side of my hill and they had flashlights. Next thing, I'm out hunting these dudes on the side of my house, and it turned out to be some crackheads. But, I'm thinking like it's Steve, or, he's about to make a move, and, I wanted to be ready. So when I explained the whole thing to Dave, we talked after on the phone and all. Dave understood completely where I was at with that. And, I apologize for going off on him the way I was and all that. So everything's cool over here. We just wanted to show everybody in public, and, there ain't no division here. We're all on the same page and everything. And, we talked everything out. So we just wanted to make that clear for everybody, because I know there's other people out there that, they're trying to throw gasoline on the fire. They're making up rumors. They're going up to other people and saying things. And, I also just want to make it clear that, when you're talking to these, crazy people and all, they're saying things about us behind their back, but they're also coming back to us and telling, what the other people are saying about us as well. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just don't get it, man. I don't understand anybody that would support, people that are doing what they're doing, making racist comments out in public, and, just doing crazy shit just for attention. And then to associate with these people, I just scratch my head sometimes. So either like, they agree with their views in life, and obviously they're racist, or, I really don't know what else it could be, man. So, I just, when I don't like somebody, I just out of sight, out of mind. I pay no mind to them. I usually block them. And, I have too much other stuff, positive people in my life, than to waste on negativity and all that. And I encourage other people in the community, man, like, you should do the same thing. I don't go around, if I don't like someone, I don't go around bad mouthing them to everybody I come across and all. But, just hearing some of the rumors going around, I'm just like, it makes no sense, especially when a lot of these people that are talking shit, they're also in my inbox, trying to get on my channel. They're trying to ask me to get them in promotions and all. And I'm just like, wow, like, I hear everything, guys. You know what I mean? So just let's keep this community positive, man. There's too much positive stuff in life to always look and be around the gutter with people that just, strive off negativity. That's all I want to say on that. I didn't mean to take over.
If you saw the comments that Herr Shubich is putting up here, apparently the Belarusian mafia.
So thanks for clearing this up, Paul. I was ready to beat up Dave for raising his voice at you when he'd come to my team's practice this Saturday. John Perry said, yeah, death threats are all fun and games until they're issued towards you, right, Paul? That must be an AWU ass kisser.
John Perry is from southern Mississippi, and but Praxis is a really good dude who I will not name because I don't want to associate it with AWU, but yeah.
Shell is always bullying everyone. Did you see the petition to cancel him from arm wrestling worldwide?
Yeah, that's failed. Everybody wants me in because, after all, they want me around because I do have the lowest Aries score and right arm super heavyweight. So they need somebody around they can beat. But
the thing that irritates me is, like, I'm just going to say this individual, this crazy, methy, weird individual came on our channel, a year ago, said the N-word. We kicked him off the show, gave it some time, gave him a second chance. He came on, said the N-word again, then showed his fucking taint and nuts and balls and penis and stuff on the show live. So we banned him permanently. And this dude is still talking about us like we did something wrong to him for kicking him off the show, when he's the one that was racist and got naked. I mean, I just don't get, like, it's been a year. He's still talking about it, making videos about it.
You would think it happened yesterday. And, the way I say it is that somebody like that's got nothing else going on in life. And their breath of air is having us talk about them. And that's all they live for, is to get some sort of attention. And it's like, it's negative attention. You guys should just, go do something else positive in life, man. Like, if, like I said before, if I don't like somebody, I just don't look that way. I don't go and I communicate with them. I'm not looking at their accounts. I'm not doing any of that. I usually block them and, I move on because there's so much other stuff you could be doing, positive, and you'll feel a lot happier in life. But if
they put as much time as they do into talking about us into like something positive for arm wrestling, like they get a lot accomplished. But instead, they're just focused on trying to embarrass 98 or you or Jody Williams or Dave, whatever. And that's all they're focused on, is trying to cause drama in the community.
Now, you have to admit, though, in all fairness, Eric Harlan just showed us his taint and his asshole, whereas Steve Golub showed us full frontal nudity. Should be pointing that out. But yeah, I suspect
Is that when you ordered that Viagra, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know that. You want me to show it again like I did the other night on the screen?
I can't believe you keep it so close by.
Yeah, all right. Well, but there. Yeah.
But I do want to make something clear because I don't want them all grouped together. I know Harlan and Wood, they're trying to be crazy and put on this whole act and all. The guy, Steve Gullett, man, that's a whole nother level. And, when I didn't know this until I looked up his record, and, this has been going on over 10 years now. And we're talking a violent criminal, somebody that actually acts on his words. That's why I take this shit seriously, man. I come from the streets. I know, there's a lot of crazy people, and I always watch the news. I mean, you consistently see somebody going shooting up an area, and then everybody says they look through their life and they're like, didn't anybody see the warning signs? Yeah, bro, I see all the warning signs with this dude. I'm taking it for real, man. I have people, and this is not just arm wrestling world. It's what a lot of people don't know. I have his ex-workers that found me, because I guess he kept posting up about me on his page. And just like I said, I blocked him. I didn't want him nothing to do with it. But I had these other people that hit me up, and I actually thought it was trolls at first that were, I thought it was him. And then it turns out they used to work with him, and they're out in California, and they worked at Yosemite Park, and they started telling me about and showing me the post and the messages he was saying, and he was saying he was coming with an AR, and I guess I think they're trans or something like that, and he was going to go and shoot them all up. And they took it so seriously that they contacted the park rangers, because it's not the police at Yosemite. They told them, and then the police looked up his record, and next thing the FBI is calling them up and wants to, interview them and kind of get the 411 on this. So they have a picture at Yosemite Park, all the park rangers, in case this guy shows up there. So when I got that, message from them, and I talked with these people, they're like, we're nervous because, he's a rock climber. He's a dude that just goes and camps in the woods. Where they work and live is in the middle of a park where it's just, you could hide anywhere. So these people are like, yo, we're taking this really seriously, and we're tracking him because we're afraid he's going to show up out here and he's going to do what he keeps saying he is going to do. So it was not just the arm wrestling world, what I'm hearing and all. And then, it was real disturbing when I seen that video with Nanya and him on it. And, you could even see with Nanya comes off as a crazy dude, but, he was taking it seriously, bro. You could see he wasn't even really pushing the buttons. You could tell, man. And he's like thinking, oh shit, I'm not too far away from this guy. And he's telling him he's going to burn up his house with his kids in it and his, his girlfriend and all that. So it's like, the dude's on a whole nother level. And when you see him in these videos, I mean, you can see how disturbed he is. He's going up and down on the video. He's showing weapons. He's saying things that nobody in their right mind would ever say in a public setting and all that. So, with all that being said, man, I'm taking this for real. But, I'm also not somebody that's going to go call the cops on somebody either. I'm just going to protect myself and my family. I'm going to be ready for if something comes. So it's not a fun thing when you come into the arm wrestling world for a positive experience. This is a hobby, and then you got to, from this, you got all this negative shit coming your way, and you got to start looking over your shoulder in life. That's not a cool thing, bro. And I just keep thinking in my head, how does this end? Because he's in jail right now, but, eventually he's going to come out. And what I heard when he was going to come out, he has nowhere to go. And his plan is just to go in a tent and live somewhere in the woods. So I'm like, so when does this end? You know what I mean? This dude's got me stuck in his head. He's got a couple others stuck in his head. And, it's like, this shit's going to hit the fan one day. It's not just going to go away.
Dave Morocco actually called me this week asking me where Golub was, because he didn't know he was in jail, and he was nervous because Golub has frequented his practice. So he was a little concerned about him going there with all the craziness because he saw the video.
Well, something happened. That's when Travis called me. Something happened at Dave Morocco's practice 5 years ago that Gullip was now banned from coming there. And he must have had an episode there, and Travis and all them already knew of this and knew how crazy this dude was.
Well,
And
except I believe he's been to Dave's practices in his house since then. I mean, maybe he was at one time, but because I haven't known him. I've probably known him about that long, and I know I've seen more recent pictures of him posted at
well, Dave, you could ask Travis Bajent.
Oh, no,
Because,
I'm just.
but I'm just saying I don't know all that stuff. I'm referring what Travis exactly said to me, because he hit me up and he's like, Steve Gullip is in my area. He's calling up asking to meet up with me,
You're right,
and said that he wanted to talk with me and him in person. And I said,
and as Paul Lynn just said, he's not banned. He has been there many times since then. I know he's been there.
Okay, well, that's what was just told to me from Travis,
well,
and that he knew of him and how crazy he was.
Yeah, and
I think so. So Golub does have a history of like some mental health issues, but I think people like Morocco seeing him, like how he was reacting to you and some of the things he said, were like, "Uh-oh."
Well, I've had numerous people.
He might come to my house to go to practice or something. Morocco was concerned. I told Morocco he was in jail, and then Morocco was like, "Okay, good. Like, I don't have to worry about this right now."
Well, and I've had numerous people have asked me when I went down to see him the first time back in August, because I really thought he was going to off himself. And I went down to see what was going on. And it has been a surprise to a lot of people, because even though you dug up, some of his past, rap sheet, it came as a shock to everybody, because, we were, I don't think anybody was aware of it. Also, there was a question a while back that I couldn't get into the conversation, but someone asked if he had worked at Yosemite. Because several years he did at some time. He's climbed out there. He's really, a very good rock climber. And a couple of years ago, he said he was going to, move out there. As he put it, he said, I can really come back to arm wrestling anytime, where there will come a time as he gets older, and he's, I guess, in his 40s, that as he gets older, he won't be able to rock climb anymore. So he actually did. Yes, he did move out, worked at Yosemite for, I would say, it was more than a couple of months. I don't know if it was over a year, but he did work out in California and then returned but within the past year. But he was in Yosemite for
the person that hit me up, I believe they're trans, just from seeing their page and all that, and they were very concerned because he was targeting LP, whatever you call that, and he kept saying they showed me all the things, and it was funny because the hypocrisy, because that's where he was going after me on, saying that I was against that, which I never said anything like that, but he was going after them, telling them he's going to shoot all them up. And I think it was also something with the Hamas and Jewish thing, because they were at a parade or something, and, kind of, supporting the Palestine. And he then started saying he's going to show up at the parade with an AR and start shooting everybody up. So I just, the moral of the story is, if anybody is interested, I mean, you could go and look up his record and see for yourself, and, I've seen some crazy shit in my past, but this dude, he's got a whole nother level of violence and arson and, mental health and guns, consistently getting arrested with guns all the time. So he is finding ways to get guns, you know what I mean? So like when you see all that kind of stuff, and then guys telling you he's going to come to your family's house and he's going to burn it up with everybody in it, you start taking it for real. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 active arson cases that he's been involved in, so, I take that shit for real, man. And we're in arm wrestling, man. What are we doing here? Why are we even having a conversation with this? And, that shit should not be allowed,
Everyone knows if you're going to kill someone, you don't talk about it on a podcast first.
Well,
yeah, right.
So, and I just looked this up. I suspect he will not be calling. The last time he called me, and he was calling me several times a day. And as to explain, I think as some people, may not be familiar with, I certainly was not, that when you are in prison, you cannot get inbound calls. But what you can do is you can call out. and within certain limitations. And so quite a while ago, I've been talking several weeks, I got this phone call from a 304 area code that came up saying potential spam. So of course I ignored it. And then it kicked in with a voicemail, which says basically you're getting this call from that names the prison, regional prison in West Virginia. And, if you want to accept the call, hit 0. If you don't, hit 1
Yeah,
or hang up.
that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I figured, okay, it has to be him. So I tried to call that number back. You can't, because I'm not familiar with the system. You can't call in on that number. It's get a recording. So I called the jail and I said, hey, I understand somebody was trying to get a hold of me. You probably have an inmate there by the name of Stephen Gullib. Can I be connected? Because hey, I don't know the system. And the gent said, picked up the phone. I said I would have no idea. I have no idea who the prisoners are here or not. But he said I'll connect you with booking. And so he transferred me over to booking, which was kicked into a voicemail. I left a message and never heard back from them. Well, the next day he did then, call the same number popped up. So I picked up, and apparently the way the system works, like say, comes up with the first recording saying, do you want to pick up or not? And then if you say yes, then it comes up saying that if you, that basically it's being called from a prison. So this is being monitored and recorded. So basically we talked numerous times and there's a limit of 15 minutes. After 14 minutes, the thing says you got a minute left. After 15 minutes, it shuts off. But he called back repeatedly. And he really did repeatedly for, a couple of weeks. And what finally, I just looked up now, the last time I've gotten a call from that number on my phone was on the 13th of the month, 9 days ago. And so I really don't think he's going to be calling me again, because on that particular occasion, he asked me if I would put $100 into some other inmate's commissary account, which I started to say, I'd really rather not. He immediately hung up before the sentence was over without waiting 15 minutes. And I haven't heard from him since. So I really suspect the fact that I wasn't in the mood to, give $100 to some
But I want to say something too to Paul Lynn's. He said Gullib has issues. We have known that for years. He was and is off his meds, and the podcast with him on were disturbing. And the fact that it was egged on, it also disturbing. Yeah, Paul. So when I first talked with him on the podcast, man, I thought he was just one of those like troll dudes like Eric Harlan or Wood, and there's always like banter back and forth and all that. And I admit I probably was playing back with him. He said a couple of things to me because he was targeted on me, and I never knew the kid before that day. So if somebody's talking shit, I'm gonna give it back to them. So I did that, and then I seen him just set off, and I knew something was not right with him. And then right after that is when I looked him up and I started looking at his record. And then as soon as I seen his record, I realized this is somebody really, really off. And the one that really got me was the arson, so many of them, and then to see the multiple gun charges with mental illness, so that he's obviously certified on paper, got mental illness. So right away, I sent it to everybody that was on that podcast to let them know, this is not somebody that we want to joke around with. And that's when I changed my whole game with him. It was now not me and him, going back with it. I did not want to engage with him at all. I blocked him. I actually tried diffusing it and saying, listen, brother, I have no beef with you. Let's just leave each other alone. And I think that was the last message I ever sent to him. But then it just, he was building up and he got stuck on whatever we were going back and forth on that podcast. And he just kept bringing it up. And then he came on a few other times, which, I was not part of or anything. And that's when, I think Ryan and them were trying to kind of like diffuse things. But, when you're dealing with somebody so not stable, shit just got wild and everything. Yeah. And, I kind of said it to Ryan and Dave here. I was like, yo, guys, I wouldn't give him a platform, man. I don't think that's a good idea and all that. And then they agreed with me after that. And, that was the end of all.
See, that day he came on, he reached out to me and he said, I want to come on to call out Paul and Nanya. I thought he meant for Armwrestling. And he came on and said, I demand an apology from Paul and Nanya to the LGBTQ community. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And then it just got crazy.
But just so you remember, just what I just said, bro, as he's doing that to me, he's actually threatening those people. He's hitting them up and telling them, and I have all everything that was sent to me. I saved. I'm making my own file. This way, if anything ever hits the fan,
I don't blame you for that. Like,
because everybody says, "Yo, you've seen the warning signs," but what am I supposed to do with the warning signs? There's nothing you can do.
The sad part about this is I agree with what Paul Lynn just said. When he's on his meds, you would never know that he's that crazy. Like, he seems like a nice guy. He's been to some of our tournaments. He's real quiet, but when he's off his meds, boom.
But you got to also remember, bro, you know him from an arm wrestling perspective. He's been doing all these crimes since 2014 is when it's consistently every 2-3.
Interestingly enough, at least half of the crimes that you came up with were possession of a firearm, which he wasn't.
Well, I'm just saying, probably most of those crimes were done when he's off his meds.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he's been off then for 10 years because every 2-3 months, I didn't even bother. I didn't even bother sending all the other crimes that weren't violent. I sent just the violent ones that are like, holy shit.
I saw a lot of his stuff. He's got a long list of things he's done. But like I said, I think he's always on and off his meds. Like, he'll be on for a couple months and get off, then be on.
But I want it clear, guys. I didn't know him. I've never heard of his name before. I've never met him in my life. So this is, for him to focus on me or even like know me like that and to come at me. I didn't even see this coming. I had no idea who he was, and I've never been associated with him, never had a conversation before any of the podcasts, so to see somebody so focused on me, I was kind of in shock with the whole thing. And I'm like, holy shit, bro, this dude is like, really off the rocker. But I just want to make it clear, man, I have no ill will towards him. If he stays away from me, even if he showed up at an event and he's back on his meds and he's stable and all that, I would say what's up to him, bro. I don't want drama in the arm wrestling world, man.
Yeah, one or two of the better ones was arson number 1, arson 2 at a psychiatric hospital.
Well, and not just Gola, but I think like Harlan, I don't think he's crazy or has anything like that. I think he's just an asshole and likes to say crazy things to get attention. So between him and Wood and the racist stuff, like, I think any controversial people that are willing to cross that line, like, we should just keep them off the podcast and not even, even now talking about Harlan, he's sitting there at home going, oh, they're talking about me. You know what I mean? Like, I think from this day forward, we just keep it positive and not even talk about these weirdos because that's what they want. And then you got guys like Kotlow that like to fucking throw fucking gasoline on the problem and like he's cutting out videos and
we just got to remember what we're all here for, man. We're here for building arm wrestling. That's what our organizations both are here to do and promote positive arm wrestling stuff. If somebody looking out is looking in and they see this drama and this crazy shit, it kind of loses all credibility of our sport being official, and that's where it's like we're kind of losing focus when we're talking about these guys. And I made a post, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and I said, I'm not going to be rolling around in the gutter with these dudes anymore. They could say my name, whatever. My first thing I'm going to do is just block them. I'm not going to allow them to bring me into a negative aspect because there's just too much great people in this world and in this community. And, I'd rather put my time and effort into that. And I think we kind of all just got dragged into it and, we keep biting into it when they're making all these videos and all. But I got to say, it is really annoying when people that you respect in this community are giving these people light, and now these crazies are talking with them. And then the crazies are texting us and leaving message saying, so-and-so said this about you. And you're kind of in shock that somebody that you respected and you talk with, and they're hitting you up and you're bringing them on your channel. And then to hear them talking shit about you and, like a guy like Harlan coming and hit me up with that, I don't answer it back, but I'm kind of in shock that these people are entertaining that.
Well, this dude arm wrestling in the chat, arm wrestling, he was just on Jody Williams' channel while he's live talking trash about you. Then he comes on here and starts talking trash. Like, that's got to be one of their fucking alts or whatever, just on here to troll, because that's what they keep doing. Like, I've banned Wood like 6 different times from like 6 different accounts because he just comes in here and wants to scroll like crazy shit. And I'm like, dude, just stop. Go do something.
I know there the one comment has actually read the article because that's exactly how it started. Authorities say a Baltimore man has been charged with setting a fire at an occupied building at a state psychiatric hospital. Absolutely. Article in the paper.
And that's one of 6 times that he's did the arson thing. You know, and when he came on the podcast and that one time I was on there, that's what he said right away. He goes, I'm going to burn your shit down. And at that time, I didn't know that he had that record and that was his MO, and, we kind of went back and forth with that. And when I went and looked that up, that's when it hit. And I'm like, yo, this dude's not playing, bro. This is a different kind of person, man. This is somebody you don't joke with, because, he has nothing to live for, bro. The dude's living in a tent. He's kicked out from his family. His family wants nothing to do with him. Both me and Dave, we're being proactive. It's not like that where we weren't trying to do something. We contacted, the parents. We were trying to get in touch with them, kind of just to give them the 411 and see if they were willing to help out and, maybe have a conversation with them, and Dave went so far to even mail them a letter, just to show that he's trying to help.
After I sent his mom a note, and then I tried to call her and she hung up. She didn't know who I was. So I sent her a handwritten, in the script. I figured, this woman's 75 years old. I figured she can say handwritten in script. She'll know it's not some young punk because they can't write script anyway. And so I sent her a note saying, hey, this is what we were trying to get hold of you for. And she did call me back. She has my number.
Also, that's why we can't have any personal beefs that spill over into real life. The Golub thing really brings that to light. No pun intended. Mm-hmm. I agree there. Shit, I had 2 big monsters that wanted to fight me at a tournament like fucking 3 weeks ago. So I
didn't even think of that. Holy shit, bro.
Big time. But luckily nothing crazy happened. But still, personal beefs can get serious when you run into people in person. Like, if there's shit talk and stuff like that, and then you run in person, someone might pull your card and be like, talk shit now. You know what I mean? It can happen.
I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is, somebody showing up at it. But hold on. What I'm worried about, just so we're clear here, I'm worried about somebody showing up at, knuckles up with an AR-15 and just start unloading on somebody. That's what I'm thinking here, bro. I'm not thinking of like, somebody coming up in my face and wants to go out front and scrap. Like, I kind of think that's fun. I'm okay with that. But when somebody's coming to show up and going to start shooting up a place, that's what I read. And I just keep seeing in the news all the time, situations like this. And I just see everybody around and everybody's like, how come you didn't see the warning signs? I've been warning everybody here. I've been saying this dude is different, but still, what is going to happen? Until that dude does something or acts on it, nothing happens.
Right.
And Ryan obviously isn't afraid of that either, because he basically stared down the bully a couple of weeks ago. And in my case, the worst that's happened to me is I had somebody call me a bitch a couple of times in a loud voice. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, no, Paul, I get it, man. It's not good, but if it does happen, there's a lot of testosterone going on. But it's like the old school way, man. Like, you have a problem with somebody and you got to deal with it, then as long as you're using your hands but it's when you go take it to a whole nother level and you're coming there with a weapon and that's what these days, bro, it's getting crazy out there with that, man. And I just don't want to see something bad happen at one of these arm wrestling events like that. It's kind of crazy.
There is a big difference between like shit talk and then like crazy talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen anybody else crazy in this community. Like, Steve came in like that. And you could tell when we all know Nanya, Nanya, he plays the role of the psycho and he'll say anything. When he was acting all calm and talking like kind of down, like talking Steve down, that's when you realize that, even Nanya recognized like, whoa, this dude is on another level. I'm not testing this guy right here.
I think it's time to ban somebody else from the chat, Ryan. I can't do it, but you can.
Oh, okay.
It'd be hard to figure out who the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Weirdos. Fucking weirdos, dude. What do we got here? Guys, I've been coaching for years, had a game a few weeks, and the huge fight broke out in the parking lot and shots were fired. Arm wrestling for me has had none of that, and I want to see it stay that way. Yeah, that would be nice. And yeah, you do see it happen at like football games, baseball games, like crazy shit, fights in the parking lot, and then someone's pulling a gun out. It's not like when we were all young where you got in a fight and then it was over, you shook hands and like, all right, it's settled. Now it's like someone's pulling a gun out and just shooting in the crowd, or
Yeah, that's
it's
the
crazy.
scary shit where it's the battlefield has changed, and that's where it gets a little. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah, no, I agree there.
So guys, can we let's bring it more to a positive note, because I hate like just harping on the negative. I think we made our point with that and all. There's a lot of great positive things going on this weekend. This is one of the best weekends that we got coming up as far as arm wrestling content and all. We've got so many great events, one of those being we got the Country Folk going against the City Slickers. That's going down this Saturday. It actually starts tomorrow at 2 a.m. or no, Thursday at 2 a.m. They're going to start their content on Steve Fernandez's channel, and they're going to kind of document their whole way there. They got a big mansion, they got the big matches going on that Saturday. There's a couple of really good ones in there that I'm really interested to watch. So definitely check out the M spot this weekend. And then my man over in Australia, AWE, Matt Conley, my host on the Arm Wrestling Buzz, he's got a mega event. And, I just had Rickard Borman on my channel. And, that dude, I've never heard him kind of get like, talk confident or cocky in any kind of way. In my past interview, he was kind of feeling himself, bro. And he was saying he's coming to make it clear he's the king of Australia. And I even see, man, I think him and Lachlan are going back and forth now. Like, Lachlan saying, yo, bro, if it was a super match, it ain't practice. And, I'd still be number one. So, it's heating up over in Australia, man. I think that number one title is going to be definitely going up soon, and they're going to be figuring out who is the number one of Australia.
That's a fun match I would want to pay attention to.
Hell yeah, bro. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a good one. But I think there's a bunch of other things. What'd you say?
I said Reichert is such a nice fucking dude, too. He's such a nice kid. Like, yeah.
But he's feeling spicy, man. He even called Don Underwood the old man, bro, which I didn't expect that. He started shit talking because they got their big match at Knuckles Up January 25th and all. And that's going to be a great event. This is going to be the first time that Knuckles Up is throwing a big tournament. We got the last Arnold qualifier going on that day. And then, we have the big super match series right after that, which that's going to be great because it's going to just pack the whole place out. I think that's going to be a really good look. And, they got a bunch of female matches, which I'm really excited about. It's like the first time they're really bringing out all the ladies, and it's going to be some good stuff. What do you guys all think with the match between Don Underwood and Rickard? Paul Lynn, what's your thoughts, man? Who's going to get the win that day?
Paul said, I love Don, but I got Rickard. Yeah, dude, I think so too, man. That kid is a fucking beast. And Don hasn't arm wrestled like competitively in a while, I think. He's had a bit of a break,
This is his first time coming back after his hip replacements. And I just remember that was the thing for a couple years. When you'd see him, he was having problems walking and just being at the table. You could see he was in discomfort. And, now he's finally feeling like the old Don Underwood. And I could kind of feel it, when he's talking. He's getting that confidence back in it. And I hope this is like the real comeback of Don Underwood, man, because what an asset he is to arm wrestling, bro. I can't wait to see him in action. And, I think when he took this match, I think they said Rickard Borman, and I think he just didn't recognize the name, or Rickard's just came out in the last year, so he's just like, fuck it, I'll take this match. But I don't think he realized what's coming over that's coming at him, bro. That dude is a fucking animal, bro.
That wouldn't be the match I would want for my comeback fucking tour.
Hell no. But Paul Lynn, they keep bringing up your name, man. A bunch of people in the interview, they were asking Paul Lynn versus Rickard. I said right away, I was like, I think Rickard's a little too big, man. I'm not saying anything against you, Paul. I see you in like the 230-pound class and all, and I see Rickard. He's a legit super heavy and all.
What's
270, 275 currently.
Oh my god, big boy.
Yeah. So what do you think, Paul? Is that something that you would be open to, a match with Rickard, or you kind of want to stay around your weight
Still be a
class?
fun match to see Paul and him.
Oh yeah, it definitely would. One of the names I threw out there, I know he hasn't been on the table in some time, was Mike Aiello. And the reason why I say that is Mike's an inside puller. He's got that hook, and then he's been doing a lot of press pulling, and that's kind of the same lane that Rickard's at. So to see those two titans meet in the middle, and I mean, just to look at both of them would be pretty insane.
Paul, you could save some typing there, Paul Lynn, if you save some type, if you click on the link there and join us.
That would be pretty cool, man.
But he would do it. He said he really respects that guy. That'd be fun, dude. Because we all saw what happened with Paul and Lachlan. So it'd be cool to see how. What would be cool is if Rickard pulled Lachlan first, see that outcome, and then Paul pull Rickard right after. If Rickard beats Lachlan.
Well, I got to say this, man. It's they can't do an official match, but I think at the practice they're gonna figure it out, because I'm actually gonna talk to Lachlan in the next day or two. He's gonna give me a phone call, and I'm really gonna be asking that question. I'm gonna actually have them on together next week. I want to get
I mentioned that. On the podcast, Nick Stone, guys like that.
I think Nick might be getting a match, or there's talks in the background of Toshi going against Nick Stone. You guys know Toshi, right? Toshi's he's a beast. He did just lose to Mario Tambakis, but I know he got the win against Matarangi at the last Knuckles Up. But I think there is some talk about that possible match. What do you guys think of that match?
I'd love to see it, dude. I want to see Nick Stone doing more stuff. He's fucking strong as shit. He's an up and comer. I mean, he's our local guy. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him get as many opportunities as he can. So that's a great opportunity for him to showcase what level he's at.
I remember when I first met Nick Stone, it was at Dan Schwartz had his big barbecue pull, and these guys got on a table. It was Mike Aiello and Nick Stone, and they literally broke the table. Nick ripped the peg off the table. I was just like, damn, bro. And that day, Nick, was giving it to Mike. I think he went right through him, which I think everybody there was kind of in shock with that. That's when I realized Nick is the real deal, man. And I also got to see him pulling Jordan Sonoff. And he was the only guy at Knuckles Up that was making Jordan really, really work. Yeah, Jordan was getting, the pin on him, but he had a kind of red line to do that. And that's, I seen Nick and I was like, holy shit, bro, Nick is really at that next level.
Yeah. Paulin said, so in a really objective breakdown, I think statistically it would be really interesting.
Stylistically.
I'm pretty comfortable with the shoulder roll, but Rickard's versatility would be the factor. He has options.
Yeah, he's saying he's starting to learn how to top roll, and he's starting to get comfortable with that. And we got to remember, dude, I think he's only like 1 year or 18 months in, and you could hear when he's talking, he's just figuring everything out each practice. He's learning a little more, and it wasn't until recently that he started feeling coordinated on the left. That's why he's got his first super match this weekend going against Brett Coots, which 17 years in, he's got wins on Ron Bath, Ryan Bowen. He looks like a jack bodybuilder and all. So that'll kind of tell us where he is with the left. But I think with the right man, I think he's going to take that, that 8-man and make it look real easy. I
love seeing a new guy come to the sport that's just a beast out of the gate, because it's like, this dude's going to go far, especially when the young ones like that.
Yeah.
It's just like great to see,
Well, what's even greater, bro, is his brother, his little brother, 16 years old, living in South Africa, and he's really jumping in right away. It's kind of the same thing as Rickard, but he's just getting in a lot younger. And Rickard's going to be back in South Africa, and they're going to really start training hard. So he said, yo, keep your eye out for my little brother. He's going to be doing big things, and he'll be elite, very soon.
One of our buddies here went out to South Africa, dude, and he said they have some monsters that are just not known worldwide. And like South Africa has some like legit guys that would fucking probably crush some guys out here, but they just don't get the opportunity to travel. So, maybe that's something, working with these South African guys, we can get more of them known having Rickard there is going to help, kind of like Ryan Bowen and those guys did for Australia.
We're working on that right now. So me and Matt are going to be starting the Arm Wrestling Buzz International show, and we're going to do a different day and a different time where it's more friendly to the other countries over there. And we're talking with a bunch of them. We're going to get a bunch of the South African guys. We're going to get a couple of guys from Britain, and kind of guys that already have followings in their area, but aren't getting the spotlight in North America. And we're going to start really spotlighting these guys and, kind of getting them out there more. So that's going to be one of the new shows for the Arm Wrestling Buzz that we're going to be working on.
South Africa was a spot for strongman back in the day, right? I have heard that. South Africa has a good strongman history on that. Yeah. That's cool, though.
And unfortunately, it's good for us, but Rickard was a pro rugby player, but his injury and his hamstring has it's ended his career in that, I felt bad for him because his whole life has been revolved around rugby and all. But at the same time, me being kind of, just thinking arm wrestling wise, I'm like, oh, this is the best thing for arm wrestling because now this kid is 100% in. You know what I mean? He's really going all in now, and he wants to bring it to the next level. The coming home with that belt, to South Africa, to his family and all, that means the world to him. So he's really looking to put a show on this weekend. His father just built him a table and a pulley system at his house. He sent him the coordinates, and his father's one of the biggest supporters of him and all that. So that was great to see. The family is just so invested in him, and they really believe in him.
That was a good podcast. If anyone did not watch it, go check it out on Paul's channel. It was a really good episode.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah,
you had me laughing the whole time in the chat, bro. You kept saying,
read that one comment. I was like, oh, he actually read it.
Bro, because I was just, I see that your comment, so I didn't actually read it. I click it up there, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, he just got me.
Bro, that was hilarious. I'm saying this for a while. When X actually find it will get these true freaks thought on Brian Shaw. Yeah, dude. When Brian Shaw puts it together, man, that it's gonna take someone like him to go fucking smash Levon. Like, once Brian Shaw gets it all connected, he's a fucking unit.
What did you guys think? Did you see the video with Brandon Allen and Brian Shaw training and all?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
I didn't get to watch it. Kind of fill me in. Like, what went down? Was he like owning Brandon? And
it looked that way.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell from practice or like if someone's working with you or not. But he's so fucking big, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna be a problem for anybody, bro. When you're that, I keep trying to say, yo, Shaq, bro. We got to get Shaq on the table, bro, because that dude is just. I just remember seeing that, when they were on that news channel and it was Devin and Ian Carnegie, and to see that, Ian was not expecting that. He thought he was going to get on there and beat Shaq, and Shaq beat him. And I think Ian was in shock over that shit. And Ian is a fucking beast.
Did you ever see that show where Shaq just did like every sport and he's like good at everything? He was like fucking swimming. Like he's just like an all around great athlete.
I used to get to hang out with him, man. He used to come down to Flamingo Park in South Beach, and that was where I used to play handball every day. I'd be down there, and the basketball courts were right next to the handball courts, and it's like famous, for people to go and play basketball there. And, at least 3 times Shaq just rolled up, bro, and you're just like, what the fuck? And this dude is so cool, bro. He hangs out with everybody. He talks with everybody. He's not like stuck up in any way. He even that was when he was a cop. He actually became a cop in South Beach area. That was just something he wanted to do, like to check off his bucket list. And he showed up in his uniform one day, and that was just like so crazy to see. And, one of my guys that I used to hang out with, he kind of reminds me of you, Dave. I used to hang out with this guy, Roger. He was 72 at the time. And this dude was one of the best handball players, bro. And he would talk so much smack and all these young kids. So that was like my partner on the handball, and people would we would go and play people for money and everything, and everybody's looking like, who's this 72-year-old guy, bro? We would just mop the floor with everybody, and he would be talking shit the whole time to everybody. It was just so funny to watch, man. But he ended up getting the autograph for Shaq. He used to bring the basketball, and he had his jersey signed, and that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But you know who was kind of an asshole to him, and he told him off. LeBron. LeBron used to live down the block from us, and LeBron would go in. I forgot the name of the restaurant. It was like the Pink something, and it was like a really hot place to go. And we would go in there and get food. Well, Shaq was there, so my boy Roger wanted to get his hat signed for his grandson and all. He goes up to him, and not Shaq. LeBron had two of his bodyguards with him. Yo, the bodyguard stopped him, wouldn't let him go up. And he's like, yo, come on, man. Like, you couldn't do this for my grandson. And LeBron wouldn't even like acknowledge him, bro. So my boy Roger just started running his back. He calls himself the Godfather of Miami, bro. He used to be a cop down there for like 20 years. And now he thinks he's like some New York gangster that lives there. It would be so funny to watch him. And he just started telling LeBron off. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, stop this, bro. Don't do this. But, just to see the difference between Shaq and LeBron, Shaq is a real people's person, where LeBron just thought he was too good for everybody.
I guess Paul Lynn used to play handball too.
Oh, bro, dude, that was my thing, bro. I used to play like 8-9 hours a day, and down there, and we used to go up to Hollywood, and they had professional courts with a pro shop, and in between the matches, they come and sweep the court for you, and all the New York guys would come down during the winter months, and there'd be mega tournaments, and you had different groupings. You had the A list, the B list, and all, and I actually made it up to the A list, and some of these guys would play for some mega money, bro. I'm like talking like 5-10 grand on matches, and I mean, I was obsessed with handball, bro. I used to play since like junior high school, and that was one of my really good sports.
That's awesome.
I missed that shit. When I moved up by West Palm, they don't really have it up there. There's not even really any handball courts, but I'll drive down to Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and I'll go down there. But my boy Roger, he passed away, dude, and that was like my partner in handball and shit. Paul, you still play, man? We got to play some handball, bro.
You may not be able to tell, but I am a master at tennis.
Really? Are you joking with me right now? Or?
Oh, dude, I fucking crush at tennis.
Holy shit. I dabbled with it. I never was really that good at it, man.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I had the rackets, and I used to be in it, but the handball was like everyday shit, bro. I used to live that. Oh, nice. Yeah, man, you gotta remember, bro, I grew up in Queens, bro. So, Howard Beach, and, we would go down the block to Brooklyn, and, that was like beef right away. We'd go there, and it was like out for blood. But yeah, we used to play all the time, man. It's like, oh my God, for many years, that was like life. And when I was living in Miami, that's what I do, 8 hours a day.
Did you ever try racquetball?
Yeah, I was really good. In college, I used to be on the team. So, in college, we had this professor, and his whole thing is he was coaching for 20-something years, and he never lost at racquetball to his students. So if anybody, the top guy in the class at the last day, he would play them. And now if you beat him, you would get an A+, but nobody ever did. I beat the dude, bro. It was insane. The whole class was going crazy, and they even made an article about it and all that. Yeah, racquetball, because if you're good at handball, it's pretty similar.
See, I wonder,
use all the walls.
I wonder if it works the opposite way. Like if you're good at tennis, would you be good at racquetball?
No, because it's all with the angles and playing off the side walls and knowing how to do that. Yeah, no, I would say it translates more into handball.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got to play, Paul, man. I would love to play. I haven't, it's been probably like a year or two.
Once I got to get my shoulder back working. It's actually worse. I need a second surgery. But
oh man,
I don't even think I'd be able to swing a tennis racket right now because I can't get my arm over my head, dude. But I love tennis, dude. I'd love to get back into it, but it's hard to find people that want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to fucking.
Ryan Bowen, bro. That dude was a pro. That dude was next level.
He probably beat me, but I was, top level in high school. That's about it.
And when I went to the school that I went to, that was one of the classes for one of the seasons we would play. It was 2 periods, and it was tennis. Yeah, tennis was a big thing. What's up, Paul Cruz? How you doing, brother? Wait, Ryan, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Happy birthday, bro. I had no idea.
He made it all the way to 45 without being assassinated.
45 today, dude.
Are you really? Holy
old,
shit.
I'm getting old. You know what?
Wow.
It throws people off because I act 12. So they're
I
like,
thought I was older than you. You're my elder. Holy shit,
yeah, you
bro.
should respect your elders, bro.
Wow, dude. Holy shit. So you were like a senior when I was in freshman and shit. All right, all right. I always thought I was older than you, man. Fuck, that's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, pickleball, man. That's the day in my complex in Florida, bro. Every single person plays pickleball, man. Even my parents got into that shit.
There's courts right near my house, and I see it all the time. And I'm like, man, I would love to try that, but I can't till my shoulder gets better.
Yo, they're building all these like mega facilities. That's one of the big businesses now. You know, somebody was like pitching for me to do that in New York. They were getting a 20,000 square foot facility, and they were going to put massive amount of pickleball courts, and supposedly is big money in that.
Yeah.
That guy used to be. He did a couple of the productions. He did our production for our match. Greg Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Brown, that guy John, I can't remember his name. He worked with Monster Factory and all. He is a commentary for pro pickleball. He was one of like the famous commentary guys. John Anderson or something like that.
Oh yeah. Bro, I mean, look at fucking cornhole, dude. That shit is huge. Like, what are we doing wrong where cornhole has surpassed fucking arm wrestling?
A lot. Greg Brown was telling me all about that. They're getting scholarships, they're getting mega money, and I can't believe how good some of those guys are, bro. They just stand so far away and they just keep nailing like one shot after the other. I'm like, that's crazy. Like,
oh, dude. I mean, it's fun to play at like barbecues and shit. And when you do get in the zone, you can sink a few in a row like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
those guys must just play fucking all the time, dude. They're
bro,
fucking.
When we at that house that I had, remember that rented that house in Arizona at our matches? They had a cornhole court. Remember, right by the pool. They had a whole thing set up for the cornhole and everything. I was trying it out there, but I pretty much sucked at that. All right, Paul. Good talking to you, bro. I'm next time we see each other, man, we got to play some handball, bro. It's good to see other people, our generation, because I don't think they really play that much these days, man.
See you, Paul. Thanks for dropping in the comments.
I see Tall Paul. We played bloody knuckles and swapped kidney punches in the day. We didn't know much about tennis here in the South much. I used to play that bloody knuckles with the quarters too, man. I was into that too. I love that game.
I love that game because like I always had calluses because I always work with my hands and shit. So like people would hit it and one hit on them and they'd be all bloody. And I just have like little nicks and shit. That was the funnest game though.
That's where you got your hand strength, bro. I knew there was something behind it, man. Because I'm like, dude, Ryan's got some hands. People sleep on it, and he's always, I'm the worst arm wrestler. But when you grab Ryan's hand, you're like, holy shit, dude, this dude's got some real hands right there.
Meta said tennis is a sport for toffs. Ryan always struck me as one. I said, you have to tell Americans what that means, Meta.
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Upper crust.
I'm sure I can figure out what it means. No, dude, nobody ever expected like someone like me with tattoos and shit to play tennis. So like, I was thinner when I played a lot, but I'd go to the courts and there'd be like, like the Richie fucking like lawyers and doctors playing, and me and my buddy would just play like just hitting it back and forth, and then we'd be like, hey, we got next game, and they'd kind of be like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then we would destroy them, dude, in doubles and shit.
That's how it was with bowling, bro. It wasn't like the cool thing to do, and I'd come down there and people would look at me and like, yeah, I'll bowl you, whatever. And it's usually like these nerdy dudes bowling, and I would just wipe the floor. My father was a pro at that. And, since before I could walk, bro, I mean, I was throwing a bowling ball and he was nuts with me, bro. He'd make me walk up there blindfolded up to the line, and I'd have to hit the same spot over and over. And it was crazy the shit he used to have me doing with that.
Lucky just sent us a $5 birthday present for Ryan in Ryan's honor.
Thank you, Lucky.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I never make a big deal of birthdays, dude. I'm like, I fucking it's not it's not fun getting old, you know?
That's how I am, man. I used to when I was younger, but now it's just like I stopped at 29. Everybody, you know, I've
Don't
been
give a shit now.
29 for many years now. I'm coming on 12 years of 29.
Right.
Like I won't even like if my girl says my age out loud, I get mad. I'm like, no, I'm fucking 29. I told you that. That's why I got, you know, with a younger girl, man. That's my girl. You know, she keeps me young and all. So, you know, she's a lot
Well,
younger than me.
you'll grow out of that, though. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you will revel in it.
Yeah, I guess. My boy Roger, that was him, man. 72 years old, wiping the floor with all these young bucks in rack and handball. Bro, I'm telling you, this dude was so fucking good, man. He would just sit in the middle of the court, and these dudes would be running back and forth, and he just precise, like just killing them on it. And he would always remind you how old he was after he'd beat your ass. And then if you did beat him, he'd be like, "Oh, you just beat a 72-year-old man. How do you feel?" I'd use that against you. So what are you gonna do, man, with this surgery? Like you gotta literally go under a knife again, or like?
So I got another MRI scheduled, and then they're gonna make the decision. But basically, the dude was in the first surgery. He was supposed to. So you know the top of your bicep, how the tendon sits in a groove. So in the first MRI, it was out of that groove. So the doctor was like, once that happens, it can happen easy all the time from that point forward. So he said, while I'm in there, I'm going to cut the tendon and attach it to your bone so that it doesn't happen, you know, so you're good. Well, when he went in there, it was back in place and he decided not to do it. So now it happened again. And now he's like, oh, I'll fix it. And I'm like, bro, fuck you. Like now I got to get a second surgery because you were too lazy to fix it the first time. So now like there's a lawyer involved. It's all crazy. So I don't know what's
You need
going
to go and interview your surgeons like I did, man. You know, I told him what I wanted.
Really good fucking he was like the best in my area in Philly.
Okay.
But he just decided not to fix it while he was in there. I don't know why. So I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, the main thing is, bro, is I would literally I went through 5 different surgeons at first until I found the one that would do what I wanted them to do. All the others looked at me and they're like, "Yo, we can't do that," because I was telling them I want it lowered and I want it double anchored in there. And these dudes are looking at me like I was like, "Bro, I'm a pro arm wrestler, but I got to be honest, man. Doing that's the guy that fucked up. You know, he hit my fucking nerve and all that, and I couldn't even use my hand for like 6 months. I couldn't move my fingers or whatever. It was the guy that was out in Cali that wasn't famous or anything. That dude fucking was the best ever. You know, that guy.
That's why I'm bummed out because I'm like, I took the time to like ask a lot of people and check reviews, and this guy was like, I'm gonna fix it all while I'm in there, and then he chose on his own not to, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You just screwed me. Now I might need a second fucking surgery.
Sue that guy. What I want to tell everybody in the chat is when you go and interview these surgeons or whatever, take notice of, you know, their office, like how many people are coming in. If you see it like, you know, that surgeon just comes in and only gives you 5 minutes to talk with you and he's in a rush because he's got 2-3 other clients in another room, walk away. Because they're they're just banging out numbers. They're trying to get paid as much as possible. You want a guy that, you know, when you're interviewing with him, this dude will sit there for an hour. He's in no rush. You know, that's what the Kylie guy was. He actually cared, you know, and he did such a great job. I ended up coming like their guy, you know, like they did a bunch of pictures. They did a whole video on it. And I think I'm on their billboard and everything, you know, because they were so proud of the job they did with me and all that. So that's one of the things. Yeah. You don't want to go to a high, busy office, you know, and especially if they're telling you when you go in there and you're like, oh, I can't get you in for like, you know, 6-7 weeks. That's a red flag. Go away. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yo, your insurance covering everything?
Yeah, I mean, workman's comp because I actually got hurt at work. So
Okay.
like I fell at work and put my arm up to stop the fall, and I felt it pop, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked now."
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So is there anything out of the pocket? Because I know, you know, I was covered, but I think it was like, you know, at least 7,000-8,000 that first one that I had to come out of my pocket with, like just miscellaneous shit that they wouldn't cover.
Oh no, it's all covered from work because I happen at work.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so I'm
great.
lucky there.
Yeah, tomorrow at Predator practice, we're celebrating surgery day because it's the 7th anniversary from me getting my broken arm put back together, and John Brown getting his shoulder put back together on the exact same day, 1,000 miles apart, when we had never met each other.
Wow, that's some shit right there.
That's
And how
great.
do you feel after the surgery? Like everything went good for you, and
Oh
was
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then with the 2 knee surgeries, I'm especially happy there, and I had those 6 weeks apart. Yeah, the shoulder they got me in, I broke it on a Sunday, and they had me in the following Monday, like 8 days later.
Oh
To
no, you mean your arm?
Yeah, when I broke the arm,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
broke the left arm, they had me in 8 days later. And the 2 knee surgeries were 6 weeks apart.
And you broke it trying to press, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
hear
say,
that a
"Watch
lot.
your hand, watch your hand." I was staring right at my hand. What was I doing? I was doing a flat press. Why was I doing a flat press? Because both of us didn't know what the hell we were doing. But I was staring right at the damn hand. It was right in front of me.
How long were you in the sport then when you broke it?
4 months.
Ooh,
Okay, that's it.
It was at my 3rd tournament, although we were not on the table. We were not competing. I was in, the side room, and it went snap-o, and I've never seen Kate Bardot run that fast when it went snap. She was in the back room with us, and she was off like a shot for ice.
that dude.
And I didn't feel a damn thing. They took me down to, Hot Rod ran me down to the hospital in Harrisburg. That was one of Paul Lynn's tournaments. Yeah, Paul, well, he's gone. I won't talk about it. But no, and ran me down to the hospital and said, what's on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the pain? And I said, 2, maybe. And, we sat there for a while, and Hot Rod said, you should have told them it was an 8. They would have had you in by now. But they finally got me in and decided they'd let a surgeon in Allentown take care of it. They were just going to set it. And it was kind of, cool because, well, of course, by then they had me on a morphine drip, but I could actually watch what I call a low power x-ray. I don't know what it was called, but you could actually watch them push the bones together on the screen as they're pushing my bones in line to put the splint on. It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, so I started talking with the gym over here, and I'm gonna go in during the day and talk with the manager. They told me the guy to speak to, and I'm gonna bring in the table, and I'm gonna see if I could start doing like a class a week. And
Nice.
it was nice running into those guys today, and knowing me, and they were like, yo, we're amateur arm wrestlers. So I told them about it. I'm like, it possibly could be having classes here in the next couple of weeks. And also, I'm following up with that stuff. I'm going to really test it out and see if we could start getting some new arm wrestlers from the gyms out here. And I got a couple of them that I'm a part of, so I'm just going to try it this one. If it works out, then I'll go all the other ones, and I'll have tables all over the town.
Me and Shell were actually just discussing this, and Sue Fisher, about doing that here in Philly, like start hitting gyms for practices. And even if we're doing it out front or the side lobby, like just trying to get eyes on arm wrestling in a community where everybody's into fitness.
Fuck yeah.
Try to get new people.
I got the whole junk fucking expo. I got 300 people that are gonna line up, and everybody's talking about.
Probably strong, like they all.
Oh yeah,
hands, like.
Yeah, I got a couple of them that are taking it for real, and I'm gonna set it right up in front of. I just got my my truck wrapped and all, so I'm gonna have it right in front of that, and I'm gonna make some content for everybody. But yeah, I'm gonna test myself because I haven't been on the table in like 6 months now. And I mean, I'm not expecting much. With new arm wrestlers, doesn't matter like really how strong. They're mostly pushing and all that. But I'm gonna teach everybody safety, and and just let them know that I'll have it in the gym over here. And I'm trying to just get new people into it. And it's funny. I think I got a bunch of people interested already.
Well, dude, tell everybody about your new trash channel, because I watched it and now I'm like fucking. Like I don't even have a trash business, and I want to watch all these fucking episodes, and I'm like it's cool to hear about.
Yeah, so Forget About It Junk Removal is the new YouTube, and what I did is I got in touch with all the top people in the junk industry, and I kind of just been bringing each one of them on and picking their brains, going through the interviews with them, and it got a real buzz in the whole community right away. Everybody already knows me. Everybody now wants to be on the channel. It's hard at the beginning growing a channel. I think I've been going for like 1 month. I think I'm at like 150 subscribers and all, but I think at this junk expo it's going to really, because everybody's looking to meet me, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be posting it all up for everybody to check it out. But yeah, get over there. This industry, man, it's fun, man, and there's a lot of opportunity in it. And there's a lot of guys that I brought on this channel that I was really surprised. They maybe had like $2,000 in their bank account, didn't have anything else, and they wanted to start something and be successful, and now they're running multi-million-dollar businesses, and from this, so people say to me like, what are you getting in the junk industry, picking up trash and all that? And I'm like, yo, when you find out how much money, they were talking about it today. We had a bunch of people on, and an average truck, I mean, in a populated area, they're bringing in 40-50K a month. I mean, there's serious money. And then one of the ladies, they call her the queen of junk, Denise Sparks. She's been in it 40 years. She just opened up a sanitation company. And, I have a few family members back in Jersey and New York that own them. And I mean, they're making, 10 million a year off of this shit. It's the next level above. So, you learn it here, and you can make $500,000 2 million easily without going crazy on Google ads and just doing it organically. But if you're looking to go to a whole nother level, that sanitation, I mean, it's insane the kind of money that you could bring in. So my goal with this is I'm going to build a franchise. I'm looking to see how it goes out here in Cali. Then I'm going to open up one in Florida. Then I'm going to go open up in New York. Yeah, I mean, I told bro, me and you've been talking and everything, and Ryan was taking pictures. He has an opportunity to get a dump truck and use that, and he was asking me what I thought on that, and I'm like, bro, it's addicting, man. Once you get in, and when you hear all these other stories of these people and how successful, one of my good friends was a guy that started 1-800-JUNK. You know what I mean? And this dude is now worth $600 million. You know what I mean? This guy is absolutely killing it. And, he's like one of my biggest fans on the YouTube. And now he's following me on arm wrestling, and he wants to learn all that shit. And, just the networking that I've met these people is pretty cool.
What made me think of it is, one, you talking about it and me watching you on that other podcast where they were interviewing you. And then I have a wood shop in my garage. So behind my garage, I have like a scrap pile, and like my dust collector, when it fills up, shoots out any like overload dust out the back into like a pile. So I had these guys around here, like I was like, hey, can you get rid of this pile of fucking wood and sawdust for me?
Yep.
And what they charged me, I was like, no fucking way, dude. I was like, I'll just go fucking rent a truck. It'll be way cheaper. But I pay, like, the dude's my landscaper, so I paid him to do it, and he was happy to do it. But then he started talking about what you were talking about, like how they charge by the load and this and that. And then
it's all on volume. So I have that I have this small NPR.
They only had a pickup truck.
Yeah.
And they filled that fucker overloaded, but he was like, it's the same price because I got to go dump this at the dump. And it only took them like literally 45 minutes to load it.
That's the normal half an hour to an hour and a half for each one. But
like, dude, those guys just made bank.
Bro, Sonoma Strong, the guys that I'm learning from, they just nailed the job today. 15 loads. And what we charge up here is $800 to $1,200 a load, and that's what the filled up my whole truck and all, which it's not big at all. It's only 10 feet, dump truck. It's the one that you don't need a CDL or anything, but the money is insane. And they're averaging 5 to 10 loads a day. I mean, you guys could do the math right there, and that's not busting your ass. That's not going crazy. Whenever I do something, I go a lot bigger than most. These guys are all, it's just him and his wife, and then they got like 2 other employees employees. You know, I'm looking to scale this big. You know, I'm that guy that's going to go drop each month on Google Ads. You know, I'm going to drop 30 to 50K, you know, just in advertising to be at the top of, you know, but dropping 30 to 50K in ads on that, I mean, you're expecting 150 to 200 back in returns. And I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed, you know, if you're putting in money and you could close the deals on this. So, you know, you can make some serious buck on it. You know, when I first told people, you know, because, you know, I'm already in the marijuana business. I have the antique and collectibles. You know, I got a bunch of shit going, man. I really don't need that extra money. But, you know, the whole challenge for me on this is making a franchise. I've never did anything like that. I want something where it's like, yo, I'm branded everywhere. And then, you know, I'm already planning out my laundry mats in Florida, and I'm going to use the same name, you know, so everything's going to be forget about it and kind of connect everything and just build an empire with all this shit.
Well, I'll run your Philly ones.
Bro, I'm dead ass, bro. I'm down, bro. And Philly is one of those big areas. I got a couple of friends with junk removal companies, and you know, it's all about the population, man. And I'm blessed to be in a real populated area, and they got mega money over here. So I could charge one of the most in the whole country. I think me and LA are the top markets there are.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah, dude. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel. And I mean, I've been subscribing to other channels because I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like the couple that had you on their show.
Yeah, Sonoma is strong, man. Really great people. And you know, they've been helping me out tremendously. And, you know, I was a little nervous that they were going to look at me as competition and all, but, you know, we've come really good friends. We're actually going out to dinner after this junk expo. We're going out next week. We're going out to a steakhouse, and, you know, any questions I have, this dude just calls and kind of teaches me everything. With Biohazard, so everything is extra fees. You know, we could kind of handle any services. You know, with the hoarder houses, you charge, that's where you're charging maximum.
How much, like for like a body?
Hey, that's something we talk off the public. You know what I mean? Forget about it.
That's the sanitation department.
Yeah, anything you need to disappear, you hit me up and forget about it. We'll take it from there. Got a price for everything, guys.
As long as the body's in two separate trash bags, we'll take it.
Yo, bro, I got a funny story. So Sonoma Strong, you know, they got called up, and you know, they had some weird shit going on, and they thought it was a body. I mean, it literally was like pretty much in a body bag, and they were like, what the fuck is in there? Well, it turns out it was a sex doll. But they were so scared, you know. But you know, you hear some crazy stories, and always one of my questions, like, what is some of the weirdest or craziest shit you found? And you know, some of the things you hear in the stories are just hilarious, man, with that shit.
Dude, when I was younger, I was fishing, right?
Yep.
And there was like a duffel bag out in the water. And I just think, you know, I was like, someone must have thrown it there, whatever. And I'm just fishing. So I leave. The next day in the news, some kid went to the same spot to fish with his dad, and he swam out there and grabbed the duffel bag, and he brought it to shore, and he opened it, and they called the cops and said it was full of dead puppies. And when the cops came, dude, it was a fucking human torso. So they caught the guy that, like, it was like the dude cut up a hooker and put her in the bag, right? So they caught the guy and put him in jail. Well, it so happens my little brother was in jail, and he was in the holding tank with that guy. And everybody in there was making fun of the dude's sweater because he had like a sweater vest, and they were picking on him. And then it came out who he was, and they were all like, oh
shit.
My bad, dude. That's a great sweater. So it was just weird how it happened that way.
That is crazy, man. But yeah, anybody entrepreneurs or anything, that's definitely a business to check out, man. And you know, like I would never have thought, you would have asked me like a year ago if I would be involved with something like that. I'd be like, hell no. But I always was interested in sanitation. You know, I have some family that run that in New York and New Jersey, and you know, it's one of those areas where not everybody could just go and open it up. But you know, just, you know, I never asked numbers or anything, but you know, my family's pretty well off from that business, you know, and I know it's really hard to get those contracts, but you know, they control most of the New York and Jersey, and it was mega money in that, man. Like I think it's like, you know, probably like 10. Now I know the business, it's probably like 10 million a year that they're netting, not grossing. That's what they're putting in their pocket from that shit. It's crazy.
Well, dude, like if there's a town around here and they won't give you the contract, I'll go pop the tires on the trash trucks and they can't do it. And then you steal the contract.
That's funny, bro. Hell yeah.
Call me. I'm not joking.
But yeah, that's one of the big things that I've been really, focused on lately. And then, I'm about to get going when I get down to Florida is, I'm getting back on the laundromats, and I want to start really, I went at it the wrong way the first time. I was looking in South Florida, and, they were just so overpriced. The numbers just didn't add up on any of them. And, trying to get one was just unreal. They don't do any financing. You got to just buy it out straight up. And, you're talking like 1.4 million to like 2.5 for anything decent, where North Florida, that's where the new up and coming area, that's where they're building all these apartment complexes. And a lot of times when, again, apartments, they go to the laundromats. And, I'm looking now, Tampa area and all that. So that's going to be, 2025. That's my goal over there. I would like to have 2 or 3 of them. And then once I get 3 in an area, then from that profits, I'm going to buy in the storage facility. So that's going to be the formula in Florida. 3 laundromats equal a storage facility. Go to the next spot. Do the same over in that area.
I was thinking say I wanted to buy a laundromat, become good friends with Golub and be like, hey, go fucking light this place on fire. I'll purchase the fucking place when it's all fucked up.
Well, that's the thing. You need to get ones that are already up and running and installed, bro. If you have to go and get pay the fees to start a new one, it's $8,000 a machine.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
So that's where you get murdered. So that's why you have to find ones that are up and existing already, because the ones that I'm looking at, they were like 120 washing machines, and then usually like 150 dryers. And now you do the math, $8,000 a piece. I mean, it gets to the point where you'd have to work 10 years just to make your initial investment back. But the smart way to do with the laundromats is to buy the building, and own the building in it. And then, you're the landlord. And then,
or you keep breaking the windows and spray painting on it. And then they're like, dude, we can't keep this place. Like, this keeps happening. And then you make an offer.
There you go. Offer they can't refuse.
Right.
And the beauty of laundromats these days is everything could go through your phone. So you actually see how many spins each machine does, so there's no, you have your attendants in there, running your day to day, and you always keep them 24/7. You want to maximize those out, but you get to see everything. So there's no way of people stealing. And, now these days, it's not even cash anymore. Everything's through the cards. They go there and they put in the bills in there, and now the money goes on their card, and it's like a credit card just for that laundromat. Boom, they put it in there. And so everything, it does everything for you. Your taxes, you don't even have to really do anything with the bookkeeping. It's all being done for you. And I mean, it's just big time, making a lot of money in those, man, like big time money. You can make, 40, 50 grand a month just on those, and you really don't got to put much time,
Yeah. That's cool, man. Good luck with it.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll keep you guys posted, man. Once I start those, I already am big time in that laundromat. I've been on all the podcasts. I know all the top guys in that. I was one of those, I got a coach in there and all that. I just kind of was like, went and planted myself out there 6 months, and I didn't get anything. And it was just so frustrating, bro. And I'd put in an offer, and the next day it would be sold. It would be gone. And I was like, I realized you just got to come to the table with cash. But, the numbers have to make sense. You know what I mean? That's the thing. If, I'm not going to run a business for 2-3 years just to make my money back. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, not when you can open something else or throw an arm wrestling tournament.
Yeah, Mr. Peanuts, no longer those days, man, because, back in the day, that was like, the stereotype with it, an Italian guy is going to open a laundromat because he's trying to hide money or anything like that. It's the opposite these days, man. You don't want to run a cash business with that. That's when you got to be in it every day, and you got to be emptying the change machine, and then you're taking all this change to the bank every day. It's literally like a full-time job of just collecting money and all with these new card systems.
Yeah, it's way cheaper to open a tattoo shop and do the same thing.
Yeah, there you go, man. But there's 3 businesses under one laundromat, and people don't realize you got the self-serve, so people come and do their own laundry. You
Yeah.
got the pickup and delivery where they come, you go and pick it up at the house. That's where you go to the real rich neighborhoods, and then you go do the laundry, and then you come and drop it off. And then you got the wash and fold where they come and drop it off to you. They come back the next day, and you have it all done. So under one business, you're running 3 different operations, which there's guys that do the pickup and delivery, and they're making a couple million a month just on that in New York City and all.
Yeah.
They just focus on one part of it, but I would hit all 3 of those like crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hell yeah. I'm one of those guys. If you guys come up with ideas and I go and I look into it, I love getting into new businesses. That's my thing, man. I love a challenge. I like getting into it. So rather than drama and beefing and fighting with people online, I'd rather be doing shit like that, man. Positive stuff, helping people fucking grow. Let's go into business together. We don't got to go talk shit about each other. Let's make money together.
Yeah, dude, for real. When you hit Philly, dude, let me know. I'll fucking be your Philly guy.
I'm telling you, as soon as I get this going, I figure out the formula, I'm going to start from the ground up. I'm going to be out on the truck. I'm going to be learning the business, working my ass off for, good 6 months. Once I see the formula, I swear to God, bro, I will hit you up and we will get this going, bro. My boy Kyle too, Doc. Yeah, he's waiting on New York, bro. He wants to start one in New York right away. So
dude, you got to make like a good friend in every major city.
That's part of the
yeah.
That's part of the arm wrestling world. And I keep saying all
Yeah.
arm wrestlers can come up to me and they're like, yo, we want to work with you. What can we do? And unless they were a grower or, new antiques and collectibles, I didn't have anything that I could put them to work at. Now I could go everywhere. And it's like, yo, if I know somebody's an entrepreneur and about it, yo, let's go and open a jumper removal company.
That needs a job. Like, hey, here you go, bud.
And you get to work out all day long and you make really good money with it too, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
My boy Israel, from the Arm Wrestling Buzz, man. Once he's healed up, he's gonna be my main dude. We're gonna be working together, and eventually, if he likes the business, he might be my general manager one day. And when I move out to Florida and focus over there, he might just run the whole Cali operation. So
that's awesome, dude.
Hell yeah. So anybody out there, man, you're interested and, hit me up on Facebook or wherever. And I'd love to talk, man, if you're into something like that, and get over there, forget about a channel and just watch. I'm going to show you the whole way through everything I do to get this business up and running and make it a success.
How do you feel about Rickard versus Israel?
I got to see Rickard, how he does against, I want to see him against these guys this weekend. And then I want to see him against Don. And then I could kind of get like a more of an idea. But Israel's the real deal, man. That dude's been arm wrestling since 14 years old. He was trained by Eric Waffel. The dude is an absolute beast. The whole thing with him is he's not able to travel and he's not able to get out there. He's got a big family that he takes care of. He's always working. So if he starts working with me, that'll give him more time where he could go and that was the plan, was to get him out and travel, and I wanted to get his name out. But then he went and hurt himself, and he just went through the surgery and all. But as soon as he's back, I'm telling you guys, this dude is the real deal, man. He's right there by like Mega Mike in California. Mega Mike still beating him is definitely the next level up. But that's where he is. He's beating everybody under Mega Mike. I think he was number 4, number 5 in Cali. Derek Smith got on the table and was like, holy shit, this dude is the real deal, man. Give him another year or two, he's gonna be a problem, bro. And I remember Travis and Todd Zilla came out to the crib and all, and as soon as they felt him, they've never forgot his name, and they always, the first thing they say to me, yo, how's Israel doing, man? The dude is the real deal, for real.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to see this weekend. A lot of cool things going on.
Oh man, I'm gonna be just watching all arm wrestling, and I can't wait, bro. It's one of those weekends where it's just so much great content coming out, and it's all free. It's not even like we got to pay for it and all. I don't have a problem paying, $20 support the homies at, but we don't even have to do that, man. Get over to AWE Underground. That'll be out Sunday morning. They're all at different times. So Saturday night, we got to watch, the Country Folk versus City Slickers. That's on the M spot. before that, we get to watch the whole lead up of them chilling in a mansion, hot tubs, and Grana, you got to do something funny, bro. Send like some male escorts there, or do something funny, bro. Like send something like so that we can see, because they're gonna be videoing everything. So that'd be funny as hell.
Like a midget tranny knocking at the door. Where's Steven? Where's Steve?
Oh my god, I'd die laughing. But yeah, lots of great shit going on. And then the week up Sunday morning, and I've been really covering the whole AWE, and I know all the 8 guys from Australia, and I can't wait for this one. They're literally taking every giant on that area. We got New Zealand, Tahiti. It's like the number 1 from each area. They're throwing at Rickard to see if they could do anything to this dude, and it's gonna be a good one, bro. I can't wait to see that. And I told Rickard yesterday, I said, yo, you can't lose any of those matches, bro, because that will take away from the hype train, because he was kind of taking that left hand not seriously. He's like, yeah, it's my first match with it, so I don't know how I'm gonna. I said, bro, if you lose, people would forget what hand it was. They're just gonna write you off and be like, oh, he's not that good, so and so beat him. So like, you need to win all your matches, So I think reality kicked in with him there, and he's like, oh shit, I got some pressure on me right now.
Good, man. It'll be interesting. I can't wait.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
So
which one are you gonna watch? Like, what are you excited about?
I'm gonna try to watch both if I can.
What do you think about the Nightmare versus Playboy Roy? That's one of the ones I'm looking forward to.
I hope Playboy Roy smashes the Nightmare.
Oh wow.
Gives him sweet dreams.
I don't know how that's gonna go, bro, because I know Dan is very like he's on another level, and people look at him and they don't think that until you actually get on a table with him.
Yeah, he's definitely strong.
Oh my god, real strong. And then Playboy Roy, dude, I don't really know anybody that's pulled him, but I watched him at all those Montana events, and that dude seems to be just like the man out there. Like nobody can touch him in that 176 class. So it's gonna be a good one. I don't know how that's gonna end up, but I'm interested in it.
One thing that was interesting that you picked up on is none of those city slickers seem to know these guys that they're going against that are beasts.
Yeah,
did they not do their homework, or what the fuck?
I couldn't believe that, bro. And anybody on the West Coast knows, like that kid Sean Lester, that dude was like the phenom out here, and that dude, he never lost, bro. That dude would go into every tournament. He's tall, lanky, you would not think anything of him, but bro, that dude would just destroy people. Like it's not even close, and nobody even knew him on there. I'm like, you guys don't know this guy? And
what about the dude pulling Vlad?
Bro, anybody on Team Strong Arms, that's Jacob Abbott's team from Washington, guys. If you guys live anywhere on the West Coast, you guys know these guys roll up into a tournament and they come deep, bro. Like 10, 20 dudes. They're all wearing Team Strong Arm. Jacob Abbott's their coach, and these guys take it for real. Jacob Abbott's got like a big warehouse, and that's like where their practices are, and they're all ranked on their team. They have like weekly super matches. And these guys been doing this for, like decades now. I just used to remember I'd watch these dudes come in and they would just destroy everybody. And you just like, holy fuck. If you knew Team Strong Arms was in there, they were going to win every class that these guys went in. And, when
lack of doing their homework, the city slickers.
Yeah, I think they're sleeping on these dudes, and I think they're going to be a wake-up call, definitely with the Team Strong Arm guys. I don't know a lot of the other guys. I know they got a couple of Canadians and all, but I'm going to say with those Strong Arm guys, I don't know, man. He said there's 4 of them in there. I'm thinking they're going to take 3 or 4 of those matches, the Strong Arm guys.
One thing I didn't like was like some of the dudes on the city slickers time were like guys that live out in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like it should actually be city slicker guys. You know what I mean?
See, I didn't know about them. I didn't want to say that, but there was a lot of names I've never heard before. I'm not really.
That dude Sam, he is a beast up in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
but I'm like, he's not a city slicker, dude. He lives in the fucking middle of the nowhere of New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a Tuppers from Vermont. I don't think they have
Vermont.
Going to be city slickers in Vermont.
Yeah, so I'm like, why didn't they just use do they not have enough monsters in New York for them to use, or why are they using these
You know what I
guys.
think happened? I think they had a bunch of matches set, and then a lot of people backed out in the last 2 weeks.
Probably, yeah.
Because I remember when I was talking to the dude from the M Spot, that's the Montana guy, and he said that he's been just, like getting these phone calls, and he's been, have to fill in matches, and some guys had to take both arms then just to fill in and all that. So I have a feeling, I mean, any event that you do, now you're planning on bringing people across the country, you know how it is, bro. Even if they got to drive 2 hours, you're going to lose some guys, but now you're flying into Montana, which you got to take 2-3 different flights just to get there. I mean, they're going to back out, man. There's going to be all different reasons why they're backing out.
Yeah. Our boy Ray Romanowski's flying out there as a ref.
Oh, that's great. I like Ray, man.
Yeah, he's a good
dude. Yeah, I like him. Hopefully he gets he gets paid and all that, taken care of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
for those of you who could not afford to go to Montana, I'd like to put in a few words if I could. I did not have I kind of slacked off, didn't have a upcoming events list out in September, although I will get one out in the next couple of days. But just looking, of course, like I say, this coming weekend is that item. The weekend after that, November 2nd, is the East Ohio Championships, also known as Kiwanis. It's actually on Facebook as Kiwanis 3, but in East Liverpool, Ohio, that is another Arnold qualifier. I'll be out at that one helping run brackets. The week after that.
Hold on. We got to stop right there. November 2nd, we got to shout out Greg Sharp, World Series of Arm Wrestling going down in San Diego is the finals. Bunch of people going out to that. That's going to be a big one. They're putting out 100,000 in cash prizes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and and of course, I'm just usually covering the Northeast here, but you're absolutely right. There's also some other event going on a little bit farther south.
We're not going to even mention that one.
But then the week after that, November 9th, the Virginia Arm Wrestling League is having another one of their regular tournaments in Mechanicsville, Virginia. And also, I will not be there because I'm going to be at our very own 98 Domestic Disturbance, which is based in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. We have, in addition to the tournament, we have 10 super matches lined up, and one of which is sit-down format. Because that's what they asked for, which could be kind of interesting. It's Pedro Rodriguez. And so that's on the 9th. The week after that, I will be at the Test Your Frame Championship up in Fishkill, New York. And they have a couple super matches of that one too, but I won't mention them because one of them is a particularly weird person that we dropped whose name earlier on the program. So we won't go into that. The week after that, the 23rd, I don't know anything on the 23rd, but there is, I'll tell you what, I don't know where you're going to be Thanksgiving, Paul, but they have the Battle of B-Dub Supermatch Series in Farmingdale, New York on Wednesday.
Yes.
The night
I'm one of the promoters on that one, man. I'm just going to miss them. I got to come back out here for something, but I'll be out there for like 2 weeks before.
I'm not going to go to it mainly because I'll tell you, as you know, getting from Pennsylvania to Long Island, the traffic, shall we say, blows dead bears. And that's normally, I can imagine what traffic's going to be like getting around New York City on the night before Thanksgiving. Thank you. So I think I'll pass on that.
Shout out to Jerry Nixon, man. He's doing big things in Long Island, man.
Great things. It's just that I just can't make it from Pennsylvania. But if
I think I'm going to help them out with like live commentary. I'll probably do it from out here or something and help them out with that.
Yeah, check that out. And then, of course, the week after that, the weekend is Thanksgiving weekend. But the week after that, guess what? I will be in Morgantown, West Virginia, helping run the second annual Armageddon with Eli Kerr. And the week after that, a number of us, including probably Ryan and I, are going to New Hampshire. If you're anywhere near New Hampshire, don't miss the Grand Arm Christmas party on the 14th. 10 tables, 100 and some pullers, no waiting. Great event.
One thing I want to mention is with the Arm Wrestling Roundtable, the next topic is probably going to be how to do event scheduling, all of us.
Yeah.
And Shell is willing to keep track of it. So any promoter can call Shell and be like, what's a good weekend? When is there nothing in this month? Or to try to help spread it all out.
And I might, if I could add, all we're going to be doing that for is tracking. Somebody tried to do a coordination in the Northeast about 2 years ago, and it turned out to be somewhat of a controlling operation. Once again, I will not mention any names since we're being upbeat here.
Well,
But all we're going to do is
you can do it. You know,
we're just going to keep track. We're not going to try to give people clearance. We just want to, keep track of what's where, so that people know for their planning purposes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have to do anything day to day, but I do have a bunch of marijuana grows, and what I kind of do with that is I kind of just pop in and just make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. I'm actually in my busy season out here right now. We got Croptober is what we call it. It's the big mega crop of the year. So technically I'm supposed to be there with the trim team, but they don't like me being there. So every time I do pop in there, they're trying to send me to go get drinks or, food for everybody so that they could kind of, just kick back and hang out, but it's like a small town on my properties. I got like 30, 40 people there, and everybody's trimming, and, we keep it all high quality. So we're not using the machines and all, but I kind of do whatever I want on a daily basis. But, I'm one of those like hands-on kind of guys. I like to pop in, and, I have a company out in New York as well. So, I'll actually be out there in November, and just kind of looking over everything, checking out the numbers. We just got a storefront out there. And as I'm out there, I'm actually going to be also talking with a couple of the doctors, because like I told everybody, I'm getting into the stem cell clinic, and I'm going to open up a stem cell clinic. It's already a place that's up and running. They're not doing stem cells now. They do another business out of there, but the business goes together with stem cells. And, I just need to have the doctor's license and approval, and then I'm going to get that up and running as well.
Nice. Cole with a $5 super chat. He said, "Happy birthday, Ryan. Question: is it me, or do all men expect a blowjob from their old ladies on their birthday?" Probably all guys are at least hoping,
Fuck yeah. Okay, I remember back in the day, man, when I was a little wild one, fucking my ex-girl and Harry, she loved women too. And her and the ex I had before that were always hated each other. And I remember on my birthday one night, it was like 2:00 in the morning. And, I used to live with 5 other girls. When I was nuts, I used to run an escort service and all that. And they used to live in our house or whatever. Well, somebody knocks on my bedroom door, and I'm like, it's like 2:00 in the morning. So I'm thinking it's one of the other girls and everything. Well, I open the door. It's my ex-girl in a lingerie outfit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Because I know her and my girlfriend don't get along. I look back at my girl, and she's like, yep, tell her to come in here. And they surprised me, and I got to fucking have the time of my life and that. So yeah, that was one of those crazy. I was nuts back then, though.
That's funny. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. That was definitely one of the times I'll never forget.
Oh man. Well, when you're my age, dude, it's like you're lucky if you get something on your birthday. You know what I mean?
Bro, I can't. I'm still in shock. 45 years old, man. I always thought I was older than you. I can't believe. I would have thought you were like, I always thought you were probably like 37, 38. That was what my guess was.
I'm super immature.
Not even. You look young too, man. You got fucking.
You are how old, Paul?
42. Yeah, 42. Well, I'm turning 42, in the next couple of months, but I don't like to think that. I'm 29, Dave. 29.
Yeah.
Well, this program proves one more thing, that when Ryan said, "Oh, we're going to come on, we'll maybe a half hour, an hour." That's utterly impossible for us to be on for a half hour, an hour. We thank the 32 people who are still with us after 1 hour and 43 minutes, but 1:42. But whatever.
Captain said, after 10 years of marriage, you just get new socks.
Oh my God. What is that one with I've had medicinal marijuana 3 grams a day for the last 4 years. 3 grams, not much when you're using 20 different products. I'm enjoying gummies more than bud now. Hell yeah, bro. I'm proud to say, man, I think I'm coming on 3 months now. I think it's this, like actually in a couple of days. It should be 3 months that I've stopped smoking completely marijuana. I haven't did edibles or anything, and that's like a big thing for me, man. I've been smoking, it's like 29, 30 years, and I'm talking like 10 to 15 blunts a day on a normal day, some days just even more, and I wanted to have a clear mind, and I just felt like it would give me so much more energy. Like I didn't need any more energy, but when I did that, that was part of me going and opening another business as well, kind of that extra time instead of just going on the couch and kind of calling it a night, smoking a blunt. Now I'm doing other things productive, and I just want to maximize my productivity and all. So that's why I stopped.
When you've been smoking for 30 years, well, you started early.
Yeah, literally, bro. I remember my first blunt was, like 11, 12 years old, and I was smoking with my older friend. I used to always hang out with like 18, 19-year-olds at that time. And, I was driving at like 12 years old. I was driving their cars all the time. But I smoked a blunt with them. And, we were outside the bowling alley, and my family was inside and during the league. So he's like, yo, he takes out this mouthwash thing, and he's like, here, use that. So I go put it in my mouth. This motherfucker made me swallow it. He's like, drink that whole fucking. And I'm like, bro, it was like puking. It was like the worst fucking experience of my life and all. But that was my first time ever to smoke back then. And then, oh my God, bro, like it was like love at first. I just nonstop after that. It was just crazy with that shit.
Well, it's interesting you driving at that age, because I basically was talking last week's show about possibly going up to something Yak runs in Nova Scotia. And I said, I could bring Damon with me. We could have our super match that's been postponed up there. And I said, I wonder if Damon knows how to drive. And they all figured, oh, God, absolutely not. Utterly impossible. He's only 39.
That dude can't drive, dude. He can't even fucking do one arm wrestling exercise properly.
I'd have to drive the whole way myself. It's like almost 15 hours.
So I got pulled over when I was 12 in Far Rockaway. I was driving my boy's Beamer. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and there was an undercover car behind me, and he had blue lights, and I just thought it was like a fire guy. So I just kept going, and this dude is fucking racing up on me, and it looked like I was trying to get away. So they come running up with their fucking guns drawn and everything, and now I'm mad at them. I'm yelling at them like, bro, you have fucking blue lights. How the fuck am I supposed to know? They look at me, bro, and they're like, how old are you? I was like, yeah, I don't have a license or anything. They pulled me out of the car. They find out I was 12 years old. So they gave me that like driving without a license, which is a serious charge and all. Yeah. But that was when I first got my first lawyer. My father introduced me, and he goes, this is somebody that, you come friends with, and I don't want to ever hear anything you do. You just go and tell him your problems, and, he'll take care of you. Well, this guy postponed it until I was 21 years old, bro. And they never realized that, I probably should never have got my license or anything. I ended up being able to get a license at 17, and, I got away with that shit. But yeah, that was my experience at 12 years old.
That's crazy.
Hell yeah.
That happened to me when I was 14. Like, just driving around in my mom's car, and they pulled me over. They're like, you look too young.
Yep.
And but I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just looked too young.
Yep.
And then dude, I got like for driving without a license, like
it's a felony. It's a real serious charge.
My mom had to pay a huge fine to keep me out of like serious trouble, and I felt bad. And then later in life though, I got a whole bunch of driving out of license, and it's like 6 points every time, dude.
And it's a felony, man. Yeah, you brought up on an original felony and all that.
I went to court, and the judge was like, sir, how old are you? And I'm like 19. And he's like, you have 21 points on your fucking license. That's old. That's more than your age. And he took away my license for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And since then, I haven't gotten a ticket, dude. Like, I drive perfect. Like, I'll still drive fast, like if I'm testing out something, but other than that, dude, I just cruise around at a slow pace, just enjoying life. Like, it's not worth losing your license for 2 years.
I just had that lawyer, bro, that my father put me on with, dude. This dude was like a big time lawyer. And I mean, this guy was so cool. He would just be like, how much money you got in your pocket? I'm like 13, 14 years old. I'd probably be like $50. I would just give him whatever was in my pocket. But once I knew that, I'd always make sure to only have $50 to $100 in my pocket. So, other people would probably cost them like $10K. I would like $500-$600, I'd get away with things. And he would get everything expunged. He was the only, bro, he used to go and smoke a blunt with us on the way to go show us like we would show him a crime scene, like we did something stupid, nothing serious, but you know, like this is where we go, and we'd be smoking a blunt, talking about, and he would find every little loophole to get us out, and it was just crazy. This guy got us out of jail for like everything growing up, man. Like I never had a record because of this dude.
Yeah.
Did you see the item about that damn Norwegian that plagiarized Ryan Grondin's Pillow Bandit episode?
Fucker.
There's this Norwegian a couple of weeks ago basically took one of those breakfast waffles and whacked an elderly German tourist and shouted Luftwaffe and got arrested for it.
With a waffle?
Luftwaffe. Yeah.
Pussy.
But yeah, I'll tell you, that'd be a copy of that.
Corey says, I have a new product for pain. It's a marijuana nano spray, instant relief and no effect on the mind.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff that you spray right on. It's a topical solution, right? They got a bunch of that kind of shit out here now. A lot of those work. I was using them for my after arm wrestling and all that. I would just rub that shit on, and like you said, they have it in spray or they have it like a lotion where you can put it on, and it really did work. It would kill the inflammation and all.
I was always a person that brought the grain punch to the parties because I didn't care for beer.
Oh, nice.
The trick is you mix it with grain and vodka. That way you can up the octane and it doesn't get harsh.
Hell yeah. So yeah, brother, with the topical and all that. Yeah. So you know, as me being a cultivator, you know, we go through a distributor, and then the distributor puts the name of whatever, you know, dispensary sells our product, and it's under their name or whatever. But I have all these relationships with these dispensaries out here from, you know, over the years, just knowing that's who carries my stuff. And, you know, I would go in there and be like, yo, that's my shit and all. So they used to give me all these like packages, like of everything, anything new they would come out with, they would give it to me, and I would get to try it out, and I would tell them what I thought and my thoughts and everything. And that was a pretty cool thing. So I used to get all these like topical stuff and all these ointments and all. And then the other thing that I just, you know, a few years, it's been like 5 years now, I opened up a bunch of clone farms. You know, so we sell all the high-end clones, stuff that, you know, normal people can't get, you know, from like real connoisseur growers that are like really famous out here. And, you know, that's kind of connect me with the whole industry, you know. So I'm like talking to all these top dispensaries because they're seeking out our clones and all that. So, you know, I'm kind of up to date with all that shit. But I got to admit, over the last couple of months, you know, I haven't really been going there anymore. I try staying away because I do get the urges every once in a while, especially when I'm smelling. And right now it's Croptober out here, so everywhere you go out here, you just smell that shit everywhere. Everybody grows out here and all. Even like when I go to my properties, you know, everybody's smoking and all. It does, you know, I act like it don't bother me, but it definitely does bother me. It's sometimes you just want to give in, like, fuck it, I just want to smoke a little joint right now.
Well, it's after midnight, so it's not Ryan's birthday anymore, but I do have 6 friends with birthdays, 5 of whom are arm wrestlers. Paul Cruz still with us? Probably not. But Paul Cruz, happy birthday, 47.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Oh, Paul Cruz.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Matt Lefevre, who was supposed to be one of my opponents at some tournament I will not mention, he's 38. And Nick Dannenfelser, doesn't say how old. Joel Hudick, 44. And Jackson Lothenor, 21. Plus a fraternity brother.
Very cool. Can you put up that morning juicer? What does he think of the CBD though? It kind of puts me in like too much of a relaxing mode. You know, I wouldn't be able to go about my day with that. You know, I feel like I'm kind of like, you know, where everything's silent and you just hear like that beep, like it's like it kind of puts me at like at the end of the night I can mess around with it. But how does the CBD work with you, man? Because I see like some people, it gives them energy and they could go about their day. You know, guys like me, it kind of just used to take, you know, all my oomph, my energy like out of me.
Did you guys see anything happen between AWU and Alan Fisher? Someone just messaged me saying you guys need to have Alan Fisher on the podcast to explain what's going on against AWU.
I think he thought that something was going on with you guys, where you guys were being banned or something, because I seen him comment under one of them, and he was asking if it was the 98, like how come you guys are against the 98, but it was the picture of the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that might be. I think he was just confused at what was going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, we could have him on.
Yeah,
We
hell
could have
yeah.
him on and explain to him what's going on.
Alan doesn't really get involved with the drama. He's not really into that shit, and
Yeah.
he stays away. I got a cool Alan Fisher story though. We were at the Olympia, and it was the time when Travis kind of just, he wasn't invited there, and he kind of just showed up. Me and him showed up there, and we kind of like pushed our way into that whole, like, the 3 houses that they were partying at. And Travis, nobody got paid there that day, except somehow Travis pulled it off, and he wasn't even invited there, but he was the only person to get paid. He got his money, and then he turns around me. He's like, "All right, let's get out of here. I'm gonna go home." I'm like, "Bro, we gotta at least stay and go to the Olympia, bro. You can't just come in and rob these people like that. Like, what are you doing?" So me, Alan Fisher, and Travis, we didn't stay at the house. We went back to the hotel, and it's like midnight, and we decided to get a case of beer, and we got like a bunch of, I think, a bottle of vodka, and me and Travis were smoking. Well, we're all just hanging out, and Alan's drinking, and we're all just, and I couldn't believe, and Alan and Travis just started talking about the old stories, and just to sit there, and it went on to like 4 a.m. All of us were really feeling it at the end and all. And Alan was just like, he goes, Travis says to him, he goes, "Where do you have me in the arm wrestling world?" And Alan just sits back, and he's like, and he thought about it for like a good minute or two, and then he's like, "You're the Muhammad Ali of arm wrestling. That's who you are. That's the best way to describe you." And it was just like the coolest night to be able to like hang out with Alan Fisher, who's like a really God-loving guy, and you wouldn't think he'd be like engaging, like having drinks with us and kind of just like opening up like in a way that I never thought it would see. But just hearing all the history that we talked about that night, it was one of the coolest times I've ever had, man, hanging out with him. Really cool guy. I got to hang out with him that whole weekend. It was like me, him, and Travis like partnered up, and like we were in the same car everywhere. We'd go out to dinner everywhere, and I really got to know Alan, and he is such a great dude, man. Really, really cool dude.
That's awesome.
I'd like to give you another news flash here. I had written to Chris Florendo earlier. I'm, of course, making up this list of upcoming events. And I wanted to know what days we were having arm wrestling at the Arnold's. Actually, it's all 3 days. February 28th, March 1st, and March 2nd. Arm wrestling, and I won't give a full detail, let them do that, but arm wrestling all 3 days. And then on Saturday and Sunday, they will also have activities for the spectators, such as grip challenges and arm wrestling 101 sessions.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the Arnold should be very good. This should be a big one.
So it's going to be like, I know in the past Arnold's, they just did like a very small tournament, and it was like really, really time constrained. Like they had to rush through everything.
Well, okay, yeah, to answer that, they are going to have things both on the main, some items will be on the main stage.
I'll be right back.
Other things in their booth.
Okay.
So yeah, they're limited to how much they can do on the main stage, and apparently they're going to be on the main stage on Saturday. So
Well, that's real cool that they're going to have a booth, because I think that's what's different than the other year. So there'll be like a display going. You could do like little matches. You could just have the public come and arm wrestle people.
That's what I say. They're going to have arm wrestling training sessions. They're going to have grip sessions, and then some of the prelims and round robins, whatever, will also have to be at the booth as well. Because what the limitation is, you're really limited to how much time you have on the main stage, and when your time is up, boom, you are off because somebody else has to be on.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. They're real tight with that. Yo, Corey, that's really cool, man. 180 grams per month. That's amazing, bro. What state do you live in? Really interested to hear what state you're in. And I can't wait to go, man, because like I was telling you the other night, I was really big in the fitness world. It was like good 10 years that I was involved with it. So I'm gonna get to see a lot of my old friends that I haven't seen in many years. And one of the girls that I used to be in her little crew, and I made a bunch of IFBB pros out of the women. I used to coach a bunch of them, and she would always be around every day. She's actually the lady that runs the Olympia these days. She's the general manager of the Olympia, and I think she has something to do with the Arnold's as well. It's the same company and all, but it's really going to be cool if I could run into her and just kind of tell her what I got into. She was always a big fan of, she knew how I am with an entrepreneur, but I feel like if I could get her ear, I think think, you know, that could be really big. And, you know, maybe I connect Chris and Will with her. And, you know, her name is Angelica Neblia. Big time. She got her own clothing, fitness line and all. And she got like a whole team of women competitors, and, you know, just a really, really great person, but also a very big entrepreneur and all. And just to have that position, that is huge. And to be able to get in her ear and kind of just be like, yo, I'm in arm wrestling, you know, I think she would, you know, look to help us out big time, you know. And even if it could just get a better, you know, booth, like where they're located, or, you know, a little more extra time on the main stage, you know, that'd be something really cool to look into.
Yeah, and the answer to your question is what state actually is in Canada. You put the answer.
Oh shit. What part of Canada? Yo, I gotta say, man, I was so turned off. You know, at one time I was so vested in all those Canadian companies that first came out, like Aurora, and, you know, I was big time stock. I dropped mega money into them because I believed there was going to be a big move, and they were up like 50 grand. I could have pulled out, and, you know, I would have been up 50,000, but I was dopey, and I just was like, oh man, I feel like I'm going to miss the wave. I got to stay in it. And then they just all tanked completely. So it left a really, really bad taste in my mouth, and it kind of fucked me up in the whole Bitcoin thing, because I would have been in Bitcoin from the beginning, but it was right after that when I lost that money, it kind of just turned me off to like that trending, you know, making moves like that. So it was a good like 2-3 years till after that I got back into investing, and I kind of missed that whole Bitcoin run over that. So, you know, the Canadian marijuana companies kind of have like it's a sore spot for me to talk about. But you know, I hear that great things with Canada as far as, you know, being legal and all that, but I also hear it's very saturated, and it's really hard to be profitable as a company out there. I see EWU showed up in here. They just
Yeah,
got banned.
I noted to Ryan, couldn't toss him off. I told Ryan to toss him off, and he did.
Very cool. Very cool.
So if he's still listening, yeah, that was me to blame.
Uh-oh. Now they're going to have a bunch of things going on about Dave, enemy. Oh, man. So Tall Paul, what do you say? Heck yeah, man. I had to quit drinking 7 years ago. I'm trying to quit cigarettes, but that's harder than the drugs and booze to quit. Yeah, it definitely is, man. Definitely. And I've actually been smoking a lot more cigars. You know, I feel like, you know, kind of just always used to smoking blunts. I figured, you know, a cigar, you know, would keep me away. And so I've been smoking a lot more. I've been smoking like 1 to 2 cigars a day. And the more interviews I do, you know, I'm smoking more cigars, but I'm going to have to deal with that soon and kind of cut back on that, because I don't want to have, you know, replace one problem with another one. So that's definitely something I'm going to get away from soon. So Dave, what's going on this weekend, man? What are you doing, bro? You going to be watching arm wrestling, or are you going somewhere? Like,
No,
what's your plans?
I'm going to be. I actually have a free Saturday, so that was where I was harassing Shubich earlier. If he's not there when I come up to their practice, I'm going to call him a pussy. But they're about 4 hours away, and actually, what I might do is I'm going to check with another group in New York that sometimes gets together on Saturday, late Saturday morning, where Shubich's Outlaws get together at 4 in the afternoon. So I could go to the one at 11 o'clock in the morning, hit them for a couple of hours, and then go over to Utica to hit Outlaws practice for a couple of hours and come home. Gotcha. You know, what the hell? 2 practices a day. That's you know, and then of course ours the next morning at 10 o'clock. But
I don't know how you do it, but I am excited that this weekend, you know, it's not against arm wrestlers, going to be against non-arm wrestlers, but I'm excited just to get back on the table and just to see what I feel like, you know, because it's been 6 months, and Friday will be my first time. Like, you know, I'm going to bring, like I said, to the expo, I'm going to bring the table and set it up out there, and kind of just, you know, it should be a good feeling. You know, I'm actually not going to train. I think I'm going to take off tomorrow and Thursday, just to be real fresh and everything, just in case some big dudes show up that I actually got to put some work in and all that.
There is a full detail there for you. And I like say, I can't highlight the comments because I'm not on as an administrator.
Oh, let me read it out then. Corey says, I'm in Alberta. I'm with ABBA and Aurora, and I agree they tank often. There's 150 medicinal providers. Aurora bought out like 10 companies. I've been with 8 over the years. Oh wow. Yeah, bro, that's all the companies I was involved with. And, I was following all the news. I was getting like inside information, and I was watching who the owners were, and I was looking at all their greenhouses, and I was actually breaking down the numbers because I'm very knowledgeable with the numbers and what you could produce and all that shit. So I was really, really following that for really hard. And I knew it wasn't gonna, but I was also afraid to miss it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I'm up 50K right now, but I should just go for the long run and just ride this out and all. And my gut kept saying, pull out right now. But you also know, you're up 50K, and then, if it went the other way, and then, I could have made like $1 million on it, I would have been like kicking myself. You know what I mean? So, I should have just trusted my gut. And then the thing that I'm more upset about that was it fucked with my head for Bitcoin. All my buddies got into Bitcoin from the beginning and went big. And I would have just, I would have put a couple 100K into it right away. And, today I'd be, sitting on 20 million from that couple 100K investment. So that's where I'm like more upset about. I never thought I was going to make that money investing in those marijuana companies, but it just put a bad taste in my mouth where I'm like, I'm not following these trending bullshit. It's all sucker shit. You're getting suckered into this. And now I look back and, some of my boys that, kept telling me before, and now they're sitting on 20-30 million in a bank account from Bitcoin. And I'm just like, fuck, man, I missed out on that shit. I don't even know what's Bitcoin at these days, man. Is it like,
I just idea.
yeah, I think it's way up. I think it's probably like 70-80K for one coin and all. And when I was looking into it, I mean, I think we were at like 4,000 or something like that, for a
Paul
coin.
in at one time was into some of that. I'm not sure if it was Bitcoin or one of the others, but he was actually running the, what do they call it, the mine or whatever, that the computational power. Yeah, Paul was doing that. Paul in.
Yeah, I was involved. There was somebody else. I don't want to say their name just in case they don't want it out there. But me and Travis were actually going to all the states like Oklahoma and all that where they had cheap electricity, looking for the warehouses to set up the big mining for a certain guy that was telling us
Yeah,
again.
and I really don't think I gave any secrets away, because he really was not hiding it. He's mentioned it numerous times before. And as I say, I don't know if he's still into it or not.
Oh no, Paul Lynn was advertising. He wanted
Yeah.
to get everybody in there and
Right.
all. And I have a feeling he was connected with the other guy that I'm talking about and all. But the other guy keeps quiet with things and all.
Yeah, because in fact, he had actually, I think, I'm fairly certain, they had a match at that Angie's in Harrisburg, where they get together and practice, or had some super matches, and he was one of the sponsors. It was his banner for the the Bitcoin was up behind the competitors.
Yeah, he was saying 67K currently. Yeah, bro. I just kick myself when I hear that, bro. Oh my God. If I would have just went in and did what I would have did in the marijuana, oh my God, I would be, but you look back, there's a reason why it didn't happen. I always look at it like that. It wasn't meant to be. And maybe something else will fall on the plate. But I've actually been big in the last like year and a half. I've been going real hard with investments and kind of learning everything. I was just on a podcast before this, and we were all talking about setting up solo 401ks for owners of their business when they first start off. So great opportunity what most people don't know about, and it's one of the best things you could get into. And you could put 55,000 a year away for your 401k, but at the same time you could pull out and use that for other investments like buying real estate. And there's all these loopholes that everything's legal, but you can make some serious money. So any guys that own a business, that you don't have any full-time employees, if you have like a bunch of part-time guys, you should look into solo 401ks. It's better than IRAs and all that kind of stuff. That's the the shit you really want to learn about, man, because you take that, it's on tax money, 55,000 a year, go roll that over into real estate investments. Oh boy, you can make some serious dough. So yeah, anybody that's interested in any kind of investing and all, I'm always down to learn more and share the knowledge that I have. And I've been really going hard with that kind of stuff recently.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Dave? Are you into any of the investments and all
No,
that kind of shit?
no, not really. I'm very conventional, very cheap, and just basically I live a nice cheap life, and it's one of those, like, remember the old bumper stickers used to be on the cars that said, "Don't laugh, it's paid for." Well, that's the deal with my car, my car, my house. Don't owe anybody anything, and I'm just content to just wander around playing arm wrestling things, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm tight with that. Like any of my cars or anything, I own all of them. I don't finance any of those. I've always been against that because they say it's assets, but it's actually liabilities. I mean, you're just
Oh,
losing money with them. It's not smart investments. Now, real estate, that's a different story. That's something that everybody should have. Brick and mortar, and definitely should be stacking up real estate because
Well,
that's
although
what
the
makes that
problem
money.
there is, of course, California is such a pain in the balls. I mean, the number of people that have gotten into real estate in California and are kind of sorry they did, between the stupid coastal commission not letting you, put an outhouse on, your property, and or anything. I mean, you can't build a garage without 16 pages of red tape in 6 years. It's like bullshit.
Yeah, so in California where I own is a bunch of land. Any of my commercial grows, you can't finance. You have to buy them out, to have a marijuana grow. So that's where I went. I didn't buy a house out in California, but in Florida, my condo, I got in right before everything, like, I think it's like quadrupled in price, over the last like 7 years. So Florida is one of those top areas that you look to get in. And then my next move, like I said, is that Tampa area. I want to start buying the buildings and then opening up laundromats, finding laundromats that are up and running, and then actually buy the building out. And, the laundromat pays for everything in itself. And then you're gaining all that money in, the real estate going up because that's the new hotspot. Everybody's moving over there.
Oh, and from what
Even
I
though the big hurricane just came over there and all that shit, you just got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Well, and I'll tell you, that was a really nifty, that thing, that wall, the temporary wall they put up to protect the hospital in Tampa. It was, the technology that went behind that was remarkable, keeping it from the storm surge. But yeah, I mean, Florida, let's face it, Florida was a rapidly growing, population for years. And I gather just the last year or two, it's done a complete stall, and actually in some areas gone into reverse because people can't afford the damn, prices, property taxes, or anything else.
That
So,
that's
people
not true. Yeah, yeah, that's
are North
not true.
Carolina.
That's not true, bro. In certain areas,
Yeah.
yes, that is true. But anything in South Florida, Tampa, Orlando area, skyrocketing, bro. It's
Did you
still
guys think I fell
the
asleep?
hottest. Yeah, yeah. It's
No,
still the hottest,
uh,
hottest to buy in, man. And the prices just keep going up. And like I said, when I was looking for those laundromats, I learned the hard way, bro. It is insane what they're charging. Because there's no more real estate. I mean, whatever is there, bro. They're not building anymore. So,
no, like I
it
say, they're
matters
not
where you're
making
talking
more
about.
dirt. They're not making any more dirt.
I saw Carlo starting to talk shit. I nailed him. Fuck that guy.
No, I told him it was my fault.
Shell texted me like, Carlos fucking. So I ran back over here. I was like, see ya.
Yeah. Time to toss him off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said he must have missed it. It was very quick. He just wanted to know if anybody left AWU for a valid reason or a non-trivial reason. Yes, as a matter of fact, like me, goofball.
Who asked that?
That was what he had put up.
I was just being
Is
an
there
asshole.
anybody that left AWU for a non-val for a whatever his word was, significant or a valid reason? In other words, no, we were just leaving it for
Oh,
minor.
so your whole crew using the N-word isn't a valid reason, I guess.
I mean, I was getting called directly and saying that they wanted to hang everybody like that. And and then it wasn't even just that, it was the anti-Semitism, and it's just okay. And I got a lot of friends in both worlds like that, and me just staying in there is an insult to them. It's like saying I agree and I'm cool with this group just totally dogging these these ethnicities and cultures, and I just don't get that, man. It's just, if you don't like somebody, then just don't go near them. You don't got to go and start saying all this crazy racist and shit. It's just,
Well, like I told him, you have to be really stupid when they use the N word to apply to an Italian when there's so many already anti-Italian words out there. Apparently, they don't know any of them.
Yeah.
that was real weird to me. Like, I don't get why that was going on. But other than attention. That's it. You know, dropping those words in a public forum. You know what it was, bro? I think Ryan nailed it when Steve came along, Steve Gallup, that is. I think him being crazy and outdoing everybody because it was like certified, it was real, it wasn't fake. I think they all felt threatened and they had to come out with crazier things to say. And I think because that's when it all happened. That's when it just went to a whole nother level. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? I mean, that group was always crazy, but it was crazy and like, you know, trolling each other, talking shit. There was nothing that was hateful towards people. You know what I mean?
They try to point the finger at us like, oh, you guys made jokes about Indians with Matt Connolly. And I'm like, yeah, jokes. You guys are being racist. You know, like we're not fucking attacking the Indian culture or saying we hate them or they should die. Making a little joke about fucking spicy food is not racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
those guys are just saying racist words on purpose.
But their whole problem with us was the censorship, saying that we're censoring people. Like, yeah, bro, there's limits to everything. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go and single out, you know, a culture and just start saying hateful stuff, that's just negativity, bro. There's nothing funny about it. You're making people in our community not feel comfortable, and that's where I have a problem. You know what I mean? It's like,
I was just gonna say I didn't like how Kotlo agreed that these fuckers took it too far in the fucking chat, but then he goes and gives them a fucking podcast platform under the AW flag as they're saying, fuck Paul Italia, fuck 98, fuck, like, dude, fuck these guys. Like, all right, then don't think that we're going to let you on our podcast while you're going on yours saying, fuck all you motherfuckers and talking shit on us, taking it personal, making these nasty comments about our families. And we're supposed to just be like, that's okay.
Well, but think about it like this, bro. If somebody new came into the community, and a lot of people do in the 98 and, you know, coming from my channel, and they see, you know, the stereotype of arm wrestling is a bunch of hicks in a bar, you know, like that are racist. That's what the stereotype back in the day was. Now they're coming in there and it's not in their little private chat. Now that they feel that they're empowered to come on podcasts and drop these words and we're supposed to be okay with it. How does that look to new people coming in? They're going to look and be like, yo, the stereotype's real, bro. It's like these dudes are acting like.
Somebody commented you can be uncensored without being uncouth.
Yeah.
What is I don't get what that means.
I, you know, being the helpful person I am, I sent Paul the history lesson of the month where I said, you know what the biggest group when we're talking about, you know, ethnic groups, the biggest mass lynching in American history was not blacks, it was Italians. 11 Italians were lynched in New Orleans in 1891.
Damn.
Yep. But, you know, I don't like it, you know what I mean? And then it's like, you know, our guys that, you know, have dealt with, you know, like Cobra, you know, is a good friend of mine, and Cobra used to say how it was back in the day. And he says, you know, he was like really judged and, you know, it was not comfortable in the arm wrestling world. And then I kind of seen that like coming back by with these guys just, you know, testing the waters and seeing what would they get away with. And the guys that are staying in these chats with these people, you're practically saying, you don't have to say it yourself, but you're okay with it. You're not standing up for it. And I'm one of those guys that, yo, I'm going to stand up to that shit, man, because I got friends that, you know, I feel are going to feel uncomfortable. One of them being my man, Jody, is somebody I really respect a lot. I hang out with this guy, you know, me and him are always exchanging arm wrestling exercises and all. And then for him to see shit like that, you know, he might not feel comfortable to come and stand up to that, but I will. That's my boy. Cobra, that's my boy. I'm going to fight for them, you know, if they don't even have to be there. But if somebody says something, I'm going to stop them in their tracks right there. You might not like me for it. You might say I'm censoring, but hey, bro, words have consequences where I come from, man. You came and said some shit like that in New York, man, you would be dealt with. You know what I mean? Straight up. They don't even have to be black for that to happen. You came around my boys and started running your mouth like that, they're going to smack you, bro, and say, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, we got a problem here. So that's just how I was brought up, man. And I'm not going to let people go and just get away with it. And then the anti-Semitism, me and Dave were on it when it happened. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and that crazy dude Wood. And I said, yo, bro, what is up with that? Like, why do you keep bringing this up and saying, especially all the problems going on in the world and all, why do you keep having a problem in starting this shit? And I remember he just started saying all this crazy shit from it, bro. And you kind of tried educating him and all, and then he just started attacking you. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just,
I gave him the lengthy history lesson on Jewish history.
well, he left that podcast, and that's what set off a fire. Then he went in the group, and then he just started saying the most crazy, hateful things I've ever seen. And that's when I said, I can't be involved with these dudes at all, man, because me just being in that chat is saying I'm cool with what he's saying, and I'm not. And if he was in person saying that shit in front of me, I mean, words got consequences where I come from, bro. I'm not whole with this whole censorship, and but there's a line. And if you're say that in public in front of me, I would act on something like that, man. I'm not going to just like people.
Cancel culture has gotten out of hand, where people use an accusation of racism as a cudgel to beat other people. So I'm very careful about that before I start making that accusation, because there's people that will make that accusation just to beat somebody else over the head. And well, in fact, the one comment on my post was about censorship. It's called uncensored for a reason. And I said, yeah, and I'm not calling for any of them to be censored. I'm not calling for censored. I'm not calling for them to be canceled. I'm just saying that I do not wish to participate in the slime.
And Dave, I want to say this, bro. I'm 100% with that. I'm with this whole soft shit. I live in the mecca of that soft shit where, if you do something that, people try canceling you and all, but, there has to be a line where if you're making other people in our society uncomfortable and they can't stand up for themselves, we need to do the right thing. And I mean, we know where that line is, and these guys wanted to push it and just to get attention, bro. And I'm going to be that dude, like it or not. I don't give a fuck if they all talking shit and I'm now the enemy of all of them, but I'm going to stand up for my boys and what I believe in, man. And that's how I've always been.
Yeah.
You see that thing with Mr. Peanut just said, with Cobra hasn't been on since Nanya dropped M-bombs on show. Did you all notice?
Yeah. Of course, dude. And even Jody at first was like, I'm not going to come on if those dudes are on.
Yep.
And I don't blame him one bit. I agree 100%.
And they're outnumbered, man. There's not many of them, and to make them feel uncomfortable and like, that the whole community's like down with that, I wanted to stop that in the tracks, because if you just allow them to keep continually saying shit in a public forum like that, it's kind of like being like, I accept this. And that's why I'm so confused with a lot of people that I respect in this community that I didn't think would be okay with that. And now they're allowing these people to come and practice with them and giving them shirts and all that. That got me in like shock, bro. And I'm just like, the only thing I read from that is that you're cool with what they're saying. You know what I mean? And it just says a lot about people that I really respect. And I thought they were, better people than that. Now I'm looking at them kind of sideways, like, yo, are you cool with what they're saying, man? Like that's not the right thing to do.
I agree.
Yeah, Atlanta says it great. Normalizing racism and shit is ignorant stuff, 100%, bro. And that's where the lines got to be drawn, man. But guys, I gotta get a meal in me. Right before this, I literally just finished my workout, and I'm pretty drained right now. But I just want to say, again, Dave, I'm glad that everything's cool with us, man, and that whole miscommunication and all, and we're all good here, brother. All love here, man. And Ryan, I always appreciate everything you do, man, and it's always positive stuff and all. And we're not going to give any more platform to these dudes, and we'll always fight for what's right and wrong in our world, man. That's it.
Yep. I'm going to go pretend that it's still my birthday and rub one out.
Call up the wife, man. Go tell her my story. Maybe you'll get really fucking.
I'm gonna wake her up.
Kill it, man. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, have a great night. Yo, everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys for all the great comments and all. And yeah, tune in tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. We got the Arm Wrestling Buzz. We got my man Bob Brown, Coach Bob Brown coming on. He's gonna go kind of catch us up on his injury and his recovery. And then right after that, the second half of the show, we got the man Greg Sharp, who is just the biggest tournaments there are. He's got that World Series of Arm Wrestling. I just seen a post with putting $100,000 out as cash prizes. He's got major sponsors. He just got like a big TV network or some sort of big app. I don't even know, but he's going to be filling us all in there. So I encourage everybody, definitely check that out. Ryan, if you want, man, if you want to come pop on and be one of the hosts for that, I know Israel's got some things on his plate. I don't think he'll be able to come on, but you are more than welcome to be part of that, bro.
Yeah, I'll pop on, man.
Sounds good, guys. All right, guys. Have a great night, and I'll talk to everybody tomorrow.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Later, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Dave, Shell, and Paul are now best friends again. So crisis averted.
Okay.
But, all right, I'll end it. I'll give you a call after.
Okay. Good night.
Later, everybody. Goodbye. Time to end the stream, fellas.